Anyway, Chapter 11. Lumia is back up and running. Hopefully it should work. 1 year later, after Lin mode. Month has passed since word came of Marcus Ferre's disappearance. As I've been told, the story has been it hasn't really been changed. They said that there has been some dialogue changes, but mostly typo fixes and semantical changes. But that aside, it's pretty much vanilla FE7. Yeah, they're fast friends, yada, 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 yada. Okay, so this has not been changed. Also, I see a lot of you following. Welcome. It could be that maybe posting a stream on Twitter might have been a good idea, but I hate doing it. Like, you follow my Twitter for shitty Fire Emblem takes. You don't follow my Twitter for me to shill myself. Anyway, Chapter 11. Castle Ostia. So, main scenario of FE7 is not its strongest point. Okay. To be fair, the start of Hector's journey isn't really anything that needs changing. If anything, what needs changing is Chapter 11 itself. Chapter 11 of FE7 is one of its worst chapters. It is a chapter that if you miss, which you probably will, given that Hector is an Axe Lord with shaky hit rates in certain areas. It kind of reminds me of the Braum Nephany chapter in Radiant Dawn, where if you get screwed over with a few unlucky misses, you are backed into a wall through no fault of your own. It's a 2-unit Matthew. That's the problem. Matthew can't fight, and Hector's inaccurate. Yeah. Every guard in the palace must have heard that. Yada, yada, yada. Except in FE10 where you can transfer to easily win it. I guess, but even still, like, giving Nephany a Steel Great Lance was a terrible, terrible idea. I'll be honest, this would have made more sense as a thief, not a soldier, given that, like, well, you know, hiding. I realize FE7, this hack is limited by the hacking capabilities of Fire Emblem 7, which was kind of set aside when they kind of broke through Fire Emblem 8. So they are somewhat limited in the extra classes they can implement. Namely, I have been told that rogues are not in this game, which kind of saddens me, because I feel like Assassin Matthew never made sense, like, narratively-wise. Yeah, Castle Ostia is just gonna be Ryoma, like, the fight against Ryoma. Ninja Hell. Assassins get bows, by the way? Fuck yeah. Alright, cool. Okay. So Oswin's here. I'm going to, like... I'm excusing the fact that Oswin narratively is not here yet. Again, the story, dialogue changes, main scenario changes, they're not here yet. But right off the bat, just adding Oswin to this chapter makes it so much more reliable. Like, 10 skill, and ooh, I like this. I very much like that you gave Oswin swords as well. But 10 skill and an accurate Iron Lance are going to make this chapter far more bearable. Okay, so just going to look real quick if they... Oh, okay, they gave you something worth stealing in this chapter. That's very nice. At a glance, it does not look like this has been changed all that much. Everyone is still pretty... Anyway, let's go ahead and pull up the growths, because unlike Lin mode, I don't have an encyclopedic memory regarding Hector mode stats, so... Faiths, growths, and there we go. Alright, so let's start off with Hector, shall we? Hector is like the most... Wait a second. Oh, Steam. Oh, Steam, you saucy boy. Stop reading my controller inputs as trying to navigate a webpage, thank you. Okay, so Hector, he's the most martially competent of the 3 lords, held back only by his move. And right off the bat, okay, got questions there, but... Anyway, Hector. He's been given, like pretty much everyone else in this hack, he's been given a giant boost to his HP, which I don't really think he needed. Granted, 19 HP is pretty low for a starting lord. Let's see, his strength has been boosted up by 2, which wasn't really necessary. Really, the boost of 3 to his skill is all he really needed. 2 to his speed was fine, but again, Hector was fine in FE7. I'm going to hold out judgment as to how these stat changes will affect the game going forward, because enemy quality in FE7 was poor, so, you know, you could get by with lower stats. Luck's been bumped by 2, as it was originally 3. Defense has been bumped by 1, and res is still 0. The big thing is they gave Hector one more move. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Did I miss them giving Lynn or Eliwood an extra point of move? Because I... Anyway, growth-wise, luckily they added the growth patch, so I don't have to, like, toggle to see anything. Right off the bat, I am seeing... Wow, this has been... Hector already had a gargantuan HP growth of 90, so 95 is just adding insult to injury. I don't really think it was necessary. Let's see. Strength has been buffed by 5. Skill's the same. Speed has been bumped by... Actually, speed's been nerfed a little bit. I'm okay with this. I'm actually okay with, like, giving him a point... I'm okay giving him an extra point in his bases if you're gonna kind of kneecap his growth, but it's only a 5%, and I would argue that the base will go a lot further than that. Luck's the same, defense is the same, res has been bumped down by 5, as is the case with, like, everyone. Realistically, they made Hector just a little more competent in HP and strength, which is kind of a universal change for everyone, so... I would say this is par for the course. Really, again, 6 move, like, question mark. Am I dude? Question mark. Oswin, not normally here, but very much appreciated. Oswin is probably one of the best Armor Knights in the series due to his, like, position in the story. By and large, he was fine in base stats, he was fine in gross. He really was only ever held back by the fact that he had 5 move. I know about the Eliwood change, I appreciate the Eliwood change. We will get to the Eliwood change when we get to the Eliwood change. Anyway, Oswin, right off the bat, 4 more HP. Everyone's just getting more HP. Strength, it seems like he got 1 extra point of strength, an extra point of skill. You know what? Speed's been... speed has been bumped up by 1. Let's see. Luck is the same. Defense is up 1. Res is the same. Con is the same. We gave Oswin boosts to what he was already good at, which I guess is fine. I'm holding out judgment until I see enemy quality, but right off the bat, the big thing that helps him is that he has C swords, which is very, very useful. It was a change that Project Ember made for its early Armor Knight boars, in that early game Armor Knights are probably going to be fighting... You're still fighting brigands and pirates and bandits, so not being lance locked, and more importantly, having 14 con, allowing him to use some of, like... For example, I think he'll be able to use the Steel Blade without being penalized, is going to go a long way. It makes Oswin martially even better than he already is. We'll see how the general promotion checks up. Gross-wise, Oswin was okay in gross. I mean, it wasn't the biggest deal. Let me go ahead and pull him up. HP is the same. Strength has gotten 10. Skill's gotten 15. Okay, speed's been kneecapped by half, so you lost 15 in speed. Luck's down 5. Defense is up 15. Res is up 10. So, kind of, growth-wise, just kind of pigeonholed him even further into being slow but physically bulky. That's fine, I guess. Again, I can't really see how these growths will shack up. And we've already gone over Matthew. He's the same as we had in Lin mode. Except, he has a personal weapon now. The Spy's Dagger, a 1-2 range preferred sword with 40 uses. 5 might, so not great, but it is actually better than javelins in this game. 3 weight, so he's not weighed down, and it's armor effective, which means that it is 15 it has 15 effective might against Armor Knights. It's pretty good. I will say that will go a long way in making Matthew far more usable. I'd argue that you maybe even didn't need to give him the armor effectiveness. Like, just having 1-2 range weapons on Matthew goes a long way for him. Anyway, I've gabbed on long enough. We're gonna do the usual. Open the door, send Hector to commit, like, murder, as it were. Alright, starting inventories. The one thing I never liked about Chapter 11, well, one of many things I didn't like about Chapter 11, is that Hector only has the Wolf Bale and his hand axe, which, by the way, I'm thinking, if memory is correct, I think the Wolf Bale actually got nerfed, which is necessary given that we're adding in, like, triple effectiveness. I think Wolf Bale had 11, right? Nope, okay, it still only had... Nope, it is still the same. In fact... It was nerfed by adding 2 extra weight, which literally doesn't matter. So, 75. I mean, a 30 might weapon is really good. I mean, look, the fact is, Hector can hit things. I don't need the first chapter to be, like, crazy hard. Also, Hector got a nice new palette. I've been over this before, but part of the reason that FE7 and FE6 were so, like, garishly bright is because they were released on the GBA, not the GBA SP. And because of which they... Ooh, nice. We can just do this. Because of which they were meant to be viewed in very low light and had to accommodate this with, like, over-brightened and oversaturated colors. Probably should have gone in with a hand axe. Oopsie daisy. I didn't look at the map all the way. Also, Nep's resubbed. Oh, actually, no. He's gifted a sub to Akania for the 2nd month. Give thanks to your Twitch, Jagan, for he is here. Is there anything to steal on? You drop, and I wouldn't mind stealing a lockpick, actually. I don't think you move. Let's see, we can go ahead and jab you, which should be good enough. I only know about 1 new unit, which I'm mixed on. I think it makes sense in, like, the grand scheme of the lore, as it were. Like, from a story perspective, it makes sense. I'm just, like, I'm iffy about where it'll go out from a unit perspective. Okay, we have 14. Bows are still kind of bad, but they got a 1-point buff. I would have given them... Personally, I would have given bows a 2-point buff, making them not the bridge between swords and lances, but making them, like, either a solid lance or an axe, because bows are still... You're gonna have to change a lot about this game to make bows good. That's how it be. Oh boy, actually, you're kind of bulky, aren't you? It's 10... 15. 10 and 15. So, hit you with a wolf bale. Still dealing with, like, sub 90% hits here, which, for a chapter with so few units that allows for so few mistakes, I'm kind of iffy on. I realize it's kind of hard to also... okay, we're using the unfinished thief throwing animation, that's fine. But if you're restraining the player to such a degree... Oh boy, I didn't expect you to move. It seems fine reliably if you have Oswin. Honestly, that's true. I'm just kind of going about this as if I don't have Oswin, which might not have been the smartest move. Give Matthew kills for funds. Honestly, I think it is... If you're playing Hector hard mode and you're going through Lin mode, I think it's actually worthwhile in vanilla to give Matthew a couple of kills. Because, like, if... So many low percent crits in this. Is Osmond gonna be the new Sane? Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. You do 14 damage to me, you do 12, so long as I can 16. Okay, so 16 and Spy's Dagger 12, that should be fine. I think trading Matthew doesn't do much unless he gets, like, +2 strength. Even still, some HP level ups can go a decent way on him, I've found, just to allow him to, like, essentially allow you to recover from a mistake a little easier. Like, the beginning of Hector hard mode is just, it's rough because of the amount of units you have constrained. Speak of the devil, there's one of your points of strength. And let's go ahead and we're gonna go, and I should have probably sent Matt over here, but that's fine, I guess. We'll go steal. He doesn't get one shot by anything. He's in 2-shot range, I believe, by like a bow in some enemies. gonna double steal from you, actually. I'd like to give Hector some kills. We'll do. Did they fix it so Matthew can't get stolen from that single thief? I don't remember. That's 14 speed. Okay, even if I got speed on like which I didn't get speed on that level up, so I think Matthew at base has 12 speed, so this thief won't be able to steal from him. The knife has weapon triangle disadvantage against lances and like Project Ember. That is good, yes. If knives are just gonna be 1-2 range swords, then just treat them like 1-2 range swords. Let's go ahead and just wolf bail you. I think, does Matt have a Vol? He does not, actually. Okay, so what we'll do is we will... Fuck. Steal from you. Do I get killed? No, I don't. Okay, so... Wait, it's 5. I actually would die to this shit. Okay, if I kill you... Nice dagger. Honestly... Okay, Kretzer Bahoy. I think we'll just double steal. We'll take 2 turns to do it. I'll Voln up of Hector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that should be fine. How much does Matt take from the thief? Well, he's at, like, no HP, so he would die. I'm pretty sure if I don't steal his lockpick, he'll go to open the door. I'm gonna bank on that. Anyway, the only real thing is that Chapter 11 in Vanilla FE7 is not like... There we go, good. It's not great, partially because there are a bunch of locked doors, which I guess kind of incentivizes you to try and plan out your strategies. Like, do you want to deal with the enemies or just want to go left? But the enemies aren't threatening enough to really warrant that. Also, the archer just locked in here is a weird design decision, personally. I get that in this case he has something that's good to be stolen, but I think he only has a vulnerary in Vanilla. I think this map could use an overhaul. Let's take lockpick. Right. Can I one-shot you? Because I think you're going to retaliate. Yeah. Okay. I'm using the latest spell. It got sent to me like an hour ago, so whatever changes are there, are there. Okay, Mecha, there, your 2 points of strength. Hot damn. Matt's leveling well, which... With a 1-2 range weapon, I might actually be able to use him for some combat shenanigans. Vanilla FE7, you can just go into a Steel War. Infinite experience. Okay. This is defeat wire. Okay, goodbye, dog. Thank you for, like, blowing my ears out. Items. I'm gonna wait. I don't know if boss behavior was changed. I doubt it has been, but, like, we'll see. Okay, so... I'm gonna err on the side of caution here, just because I want to get that Iron Rune. That's like a really good stealable in the first chapter, which I think it's fine. I think the map itself needs some restructuring, but if you want to give like something like an Iron Rune early, I don't think that's like, I think that's all that bad, TBH. An Iron Rune, like, it negates enemy critical hits, but FE7, to my recollection, isn't a game where there are a lot of threatening crit enemies. It is a game where, like, there are a few instances where you have to face, like, 10-ish% hit on certain characters. Okay, okay, I take 8 damage from you. I could... I'll just steal and trade, that's fine. Iron Rune is too much. Boots? What do you mean? Oh yeah, no. Boots, no. I don't like how boots are implemented in GBA Fire Emblem, personally. Like, They should not be effective on, like, flyers or mounted units at all. Let's go ahead and equip the Jav. Actually, I'm just gonna rescue. I want to save uses on that Javelin. How are boots implemented? They're just vanilla. The only thing I know they've added is they've added a boot shop. I'm just gonna leave that guy alive. Doesn't matter. Anyway, this boss is kind of a joke. Unfortunately, I don't think you one-shot him on English FE7 because of double effectiveness. This is one of those cases where I think like having variable 2x or 3x effectiveness might go a decent way. Because just being able to like 100% one-shot the boss of Hector kind of, like, what's the point? I'd argue you might get more mileage out of making him a really bulky halberdier if they're in the game, because like that wasn't really a challenge at all. I mean, at least in normal FE7, like I think it takes 2 rounds of combat, right? You don't originally, and maybe it's irritating. I mean, I can understand that, but having a 100% chance to hit, like, you initiate on him and he dies. Which, given that he is the objective for this chapter, is kind of shaky at best. It's hard to make a good chapter with, like, very few units, especially given that, like, said units have stats that are set in stone. Yeah, anyway, Oswin's back here. This hasn't been changed, I'm just going to assume, because Oswin was with the party. Anyway, that's chapter 11. Let's go to chapter 12. Hey, Santaruz, Eliwood. And hey, do you notice a map sprite change? I do. Fire Emblem's design does not lend itself well to boss fights at all. I agree. I think it's gotten better at it over the years, but I don't think it's really started to shape up until, like, it really, like, FE10 did a decent job with it. Conquest did a good job with it. Even Awakening did a pretty good job of Grima. And I think Three Houses added, like, a really solid mechanic to make single, like, just one-on-one boss fights or, like, one-on-army boss fights kind of threatening with a multiple health bar mechanic. Also, Sarah's here for some reason. You probably want to write her in a little better because she's just sort of like, she's here. 14 base strength at level 3 is busted. I agree. I think some of these change. I think not every character in a Redux hack needs to be buffed. Hector is one of those characters where I don't think he needs to be buffed. If anything, the only thing I would do for Hector is I think that boost to his skill is fine. Also, I really like this map palette. FE6 item being weak is thematic. It's anticlimactic, and it's not really played up by the story at all. It's just sort of like, if you think about it, it makes sense that Idun is weak. It's not ever, like, pressed upon as a theme of FE6. It's just like, I guess it would make sense that this isn't, like, Grima tier levels of, like, apocalyptic dragons. Yep. Okay, starting out on this, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna turn on a fan. It's in fact 2,000 degrees in my room, so. So incredibly red. Okay, good talk. Thanks for sticking around, dogs. Yeah, now it looks the part. God, Okay, actually, though... Let me see something. Studio... I don't think red's updated. If I... Yeah, this is what red should look like. Huh. Okay, we're gonna have, like, a break after this chapter, and I'm gonna fix those, because... genuinely, this is red. This is not blindingly red. Anyway, we got Sarah's the same as usual. Really, the only thing noteworthy they did for her, gave her a boost to her res and a few points of magic, so she doesn't start with 2 anymore. Now let's look at the Eliwood squad. First of all, for those of you confused, Lin mode, instead of Wallace coming with a Knight's Crest that is intended to be used on himself, he comes as a general with an Earth Seal, which allows you to early promote 1 unit from Lin mode. I chose Dorcas because it would make it Eliwood and Hector mode a little harder, or a little easier. Plus, I think it's funny to just have a warrior early on. Warrior promo gains are a little too much in the HP department, but hey. It looks magenta to me. It's reddish. Anyway, right off the bat, let's save the best for last because we got a few things to go about. So first off, let's start with the namesake of his hack. Yes, this is called Project Wildflower because Rebecca, epithet, the Wildflower. She's an archer. Rebecca in FE7 has a distinct privilege of just having garbage-based stats. Absolutely disgusting garbage-based stats, and it's par for the course. It doesn't look like she's been shored up too much, but like, I'm seeing 10 speed, and I like that already. She starts with 6 speed normally, which is abysmal. She can't double anything, but at least here she leans into her niche a bit more. Anyway, Rebecca, she's got an extra point of HP. She has 2 extra points of strength, 2 extra points of skill, 4 extra points of speed, which normally I'm iffy on buffing like speed this much as it's been done, but Rebecca needed it. She was like irredeemably bad at base stats. Luck's been buffed by 2. Defense has actually been taken down 1, and Res has been buffed by 4, so they're trying to slot Rebecca into a contrasting niche of Will, which I am okay with. Also, let it be known that 5 move, Hector has 6 move. I really, like, is this a bug? I don't understand the reason for doing this in... Because, like, Hector's problem is that he promotes and he keeps, like, 5 move. Anyway, yeah, Rebecca's gross. You can see they're far better. Again, HP... Everyone's getting a buff to their HP, except Rebecca, actually. It's the same. Rebecca didn't have abysmal strength, but actually she did. She had the lowest tier of strength that isn't like Gi or pre-promote, so 10% to strength, that's... I guess that's fine. I probably would have only given 5, personally. Skill's the same. Speed's been buffed by 10. Luck's been nerfed a little bit. Defense has been buffed by 5. Res has been buffed by 5. At a glance, the problem I see with buffing growth to this degree, especially her speed to a 70, is that, and this is something that you really should, if, like, Rikaka, you're watching, you really should consider changing tier 1 classes to have personalized caps, because 20 caps in every stat just kind of, it kills lopsided units, especially those, like, that are super heavy in speed and skill, because, like, they cap out at 20, and they still hit like a wet noodle. And I'm guessing that that's going to be the case here for Becca. Also, does she have... Okay, she has D. I think she had E-bows before. No, she had D. Okay, cool. Also, she comes with a Wildflower. Ah, of course. The dev likes Rebecca. I'm just going to guess that they're going to give her some love. Okay, a Cav armor-slaying bow. I'm going to slightly roll my eyes at this. I think it's like a we want Rebecca to be the lord of this hack thing. I'm going to roll my eyes at it a little bit. I don't mind preferred weapons for weak units as a means to allowing them to get stronger, or even like pseudo-preferred weapons, like the hatchet with Ross, but I feel like just giving her a bow that doesn't slow her down, that has decent might, would be enough. I don't think it needs to be a Cav armor slayer, but that's just me. Waifu bias indeed. Anyway, oh wow, god. A lot of things. Anyway, Lowen's an axe Cav. For those of you who didn't jump into Lin mode, Sane is a lance cav, Kent's a sword cav, Lowen is an axe cav. This is a wonderful change that, honestly, it should have been in FE7 proper. It should have been in all GBA games proper. Cavs having dual weapons as a tier 1 class is fucking stupid. So Lowen being an axe cav completes the triangle and makes a lot of sense with his archetype of being bulky but slow, just like an HP sponge. Lowen was pretty good in FE7. He wasn't great, but given that he was like a cavalier, he was, you know, serviceable. He had a horse. Having a horse goes a long way. Anyway, he gets 3 more HP, which is fine. He gets 4 more strength, which is a lot. 3 more skill, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with buffing base skill and inaccurate units in the early game. Speed's the same. Luck's been buffed by 2. Defense has been buffed by 1. Res is the same. Con is the same. Move is the same. Realist at a glance, like... okay, I can't yell at bases changes because I haven't seen enemy quality, but looking at his gross strength, got it. Okay, so Lowen and Vanilla had the lowest strength growth in the game. Like, he was, aside from Jafar and Carla, which is just abysmal, and I guess Legault, he had like the lowest strength growth of any unit that joins around here. He's tied of Gi, so upping it to 50 is something I am not really here for personally. I think Lowen should retain his identity as the low strength but high HP and like the high bulk cav, as it were. Because as it stands now, looking at gross, a lot of the calves are really homogenized in terms of their growth, so consider maybe looking at that. Skill got a good boost, 15% to skill, which I am fine with. He's still slow as molasses at 30. Luck got nerfed by 10, as is the case. Defense got nerfed by 5, and res got growth nerfed by 20. Given how Sane and Kent are slotted, I would maybe throw some of Lowen's strength into his defense. Because, like, 50% strength of 11 base strength is pretty damn good. I mean, granted, that is only, like, slightly above vanilla Eliwood levels, but that's a huge bonus to his strength. He was fine. Calves are fine in FE7, and you haven't made any systemic changes to the point where, like, it's an issue. Anyway, he gets a Reaver Axe, which I'm okay with, sort of. Being a mono weapon type, it kind of puts him in a weird position. I'm iffy on overblow to preferred weapons personally, but that's just me. Ember kind of jumped the shark with it. But it's a slightly better Iron Axe that's strong against swords. This essentially gives him dual weaponry, which is fine, I guess. Not all axe units need huge strength growth. I agree. Marcus, he's a heavy paladin, which I like this already. I like this already. So Marcus in FE7 had the problem of being, he's just too good. He's too good for what the game wants him to do. He's supposed to soften up units for others to kill and be like a get out of jail free card. Instead, Marcus is the win button. Which it still looks like from his bases he can be a win button, but the Fortress Lance, a lance made to protect. It has 5 might, so it's very weak. It is 14 weight, so it slows him down by 2. And it subtracts 3 like might, so he only has 17 attack. This is a good way to like allow Marcus to soften up units. I like this. It has 50 uses. This is the kind of preferred weapon I'm okay with. Because if you want to steamroll with Marcus, he still has the Silver Axe, he still has the Iron Lance, go to town. He's a heavy paladin, so lances and axes. God, base stats on Marcus. Have they changed, or is this vanilla Marcus? So we got 4 points to HP. Strength is the same. Skills is this is vanilla Marcus with 3 less res put into his HP. And he has more con now. Actually, no, wait. No, this is just vanilla Marcus with 1 extra point of con, which, like, con's a bad mechanic. Say it with me, kids. Gross-wise, these are vanilla Marcus gross. I know that for a fact. We've been over Dorcas. Okay, Bartra. Bartra's thing is that he is slow as shit. He has no base speed, and he cannot double anything. He gets doubled by everything. 7 speed's, like, it's something, so we can maybe work with this. He's got same HP, which is fine. He already had high HP. 2 extra points of strength. I'm iffy on that. 3 extra points of skill are fine. He has 4 extra points of speed, which, like, yeah, he needed that. Like, it's a huge boost, but he needed it. 3 extra points of luck, but enemies have crit now. Defense is the same. Res is the same. Con is the same. I think this is probably all right. Like, of all the base stat changes you've made, Bartra's changes seem sensible. Growth-wise, his HP was actually taken down a little bit due to the buff to his bases. He got a 15% boost to his strength, which, like, I guess 50% strength with his starting strength in FE7 was a bit iffy, but 65 is a lot. Skill got nerfed a little bit, which is kind of funny. Speed got a 5% boost. Defense got a 5% boost. Res got a 15%. Oh, wait, no, I lied. Defense and res got nerfed by 5 and 15, respectively. So he's offensively focused as opposed to Dorcas, who is a little more defensively focused. But again, looking at these, they aren't that... Dorcas and Bartra don't seem that archetypically different, which is like... No one has res in this hack. I think it's to allow, like, threatening enemy mages. I don't know. Like, they're constantly nerfing res. I'm assuming it'll have some reason down the road. But okay, time for me to gush the one good change they made that I cannot, like, mess with. Eliwood is a Lance Lord. This makes so much sense. I do not know why FE7 didn't do this. In FE6 trial maps, Eliwood was playable after you beat the game X amount of times, and he had S rank in lances, not swords. Lances. Giving him lances does so many good things for FE7. Right off the bat, it makes him, like, more distinct from his son, because Eliwood and Roy being footlock sword lords at all attack of a rapier, with very similar color schemes. It's just bad design. Like, from a character design perspective, they are too visually similar. In the context of FE7, it's great because now your main 3 lords are weapon triangle, like specialists. So, Lynn's swords, Eliwood's lances, Hector's axes. This makes so much sense. And more importantly, it allows Eliwood to do things, because in Eliwood's chapters, beyond maybe this starting chapter, because I think this is more tuned to, like, Eliwood proper, you're going to be running into a lot of lance calves and armors, to where, like, Eliwood being a sword lord whose rapier has less might than the Monicati, shoots him in the foot. Anyway, let's go ahead and... So, 7 strength. Right off the bat, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Eliwood had, like, really shitty bases. He was kind of like Boyd, to where if he did not get good starting levels, he was screwed. He was super screwed. He got 5 points to HP, which I guess is okay. You're going to probably increase enemy quality, and everyone's getting an HP boost, so it's whatever. 2 points to strength, 2 points to skill, 2 points to speed. Luck's the same. Defense got a 1-point boost. Res got a 3-point boost. Con got a 1-point boost. So speed's effectively been given a... You know, no, I'm not going to say that because lances are heavier than swords, so I think that con boost was necessary. Personal weapon is a glaive. It is strong versus calves and armors and is a reaver. So it is weak against swords, and it's good against axes and neutral against lances. This is good, so it means that as long as he's not fighting like Myrmidons, and mind you, they did this with Lynn's Monicati too. I think given the enemy makeup of early FE7, giving the lords a preferred reaver weapon is a very good idea. Also, 10 might, decent enough. 30 effective might when it's being used. Iron Lance, which doesn't slow him down, appreciate that. And a bone. Sea Lances, good to go. I think he had sea swords to begin with, so hooray. I gabbed on for 6 weight, okay? I mean, it doesn't really, like, you can make it 8 weight. Why not? It being super light doesn't do anything for Eliwood, given that, like, going under con doesn't matter. Anyway, I've gabbed for a while. Let's actually start them out. So, right off the bat, I'm going to check enemy quality, because if this is anything like Lynn mode, and it's not, I'm not seeing silvers. Okay, the big thing is Pegasus Knights still have 5 con, are weighed down by... Well, they're only weighed down by 3 here. I guess that's fine. I don't think the con formula works if FE7 or GBA Fire Emblem's class makeup. It's just me. But Dorcas is gonna choke the shit out of this point. So he's got, what? 11 AS? I think he'll probably one-shot. What is this? 18, 5, 20. Yeah, he's gonna one-shot, which I'm not jazzed about. So instead, I will put Dorcas here. I'm gonna put Bartra here. I imagine I'm gonna have to use Bartra to get Carla. I'm like, come on. Come on, you gotta have done something to Carla. Something. Gonna give her something. She's so irredeemably bad. We're gonna bring Rebecca over here. Just double checking. Cool. Also, Eliwood can use javelins now, which is a huge plus. I'm gonna send Marcus to get what was originally a secret book. I don't think the secret book, like losing out on an energy ring for a secret book is alright, but whatever. Blah, 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 blah. This hasn't changed, so... Secret book. The question is it still 2? It is still 2. I'm iffy on that. I think substats, things that aren't like... I think Angelic Robe needs a nerf down to 5. Substats like luck and skill need a boost up to 4. And like main stats like strength, magic, and defense can be stay at 2. Because as it stands, the secret book is something that you're just like, cool, money. Also, the Wolf Bale is not a Reaver because it would just kind of shoot him in the... To be weak to lances would be not to Hector's benefit. But yeah, I can go ahead and do that, and I guess I will hand axe. Actually, shit, I should have attacked of Oswin and then traded him a javelin. Anyway, Hector level. HP, strength, and skill. We'll take that. Goddess icons and skill book can be comfortably boosted to 3. I do like what Fates did, but at the same time, Fates has a different cap level. Also, keep in mind, Javelin has 3 might, so it's kind of poo-poo garbage trash. I'm gonna just do this. There we go. There are no personal legendaries. All of them in Project Wildflower are just S-rank weapons. I'm cool with that, sort of, kind of. I'll see what you do. Like, being frank, I don't mind the legendary weapons being locked to the lords in FE7. I know that you give like S rank weapons the normal ones earlier in the game now, which is good. Oh, is Dorcas not gonna double? Oh, soften him up, Dorcas. Yeah! Good Jagan. There's no reason for them to be Lord locked. I understand that from like a lore perspective. Yeah, I guess I get that from a lore perspective. I kind of wish it could, maybe it would be sensible to make it like, I think it's FE Shadow Dragon, I think does it, where a personal weapon is like a weapon with a higher rank, like an S rank weapon that can be used at any rank by the person it's preferred to, right? I think that might be a happy medium. But like with the narrative of FE7, you kind of gotta... Changing Eliwood to a Lance Lord, I guess you're gonna have to do a lot. Like, keep in mind, this is really early beta, story's not been changed to match gameplay at all, but... Yeah, you're gonna have to figure out how to do the, Ninian death scene and like the whole Durandal taking control thing. It works in Shadow Dragon, yeah, point taken. Also, let's see, Rebecca can... Okay, the fact that Rebecca can one round an enemy archer. Holy shit, this is great. Like, I don't think the Wildflower needs to be effective against calves and armors, but maybe calves. Maybe make it a hunter's bow. Like, she's a hunter. Maybe make it effective against calves. And bump it down to 7. Oh god, these archers are dog shit. Okay, yeah, enemy quality is still not where it needs to be, but that's fine. The Ninian death scene happens immediately after you get Durandal, so unless it was moved, there's no issue. Yeah, but FE7's story in general kind of talks about... It touches on Eliwood's hesitancy to use the Durandal beyond it, so... You're gonna have to change little things here and there. Which is fine, that's like... expected with a large change, like a large hack change like this. Also, we're using new archers. I think Rebecca has been slightly repaleted. Like 8 might and 95 hit is available, is pretty good on its own. I agree, and it doesn't slow her down, so I don't think it needs to be crazy good. I realize that this is waifu bias. Also, Eliwood has 6 move too. Did Lynn have 6 move? Was I just like stupid? Are we taking, okay. If we don't change how Lords promotes, I think I understand why this was made. It was kind of like the Shadow Dragon compromise. Also... So we're like, okay, so like, you don't promote. Also, Eliwood's just F-frame, which is fine. It's a good-ass battle sprite. Okay, Lynn had 6 move. I just didn't notice. Or if I did notice, I assumed it was because she was stinted as, like, the light class, like the agile class. I mean, I think in Awakening, like, assassins have an extra point of move, right? Anyway, it's fine. Hector's squad is... I think a lot of this map's design doesn't really work in boxing all of Eliwood's boys behind a mountain range here and forcing them to slowly bottleneck. All of these enemies are fed to Hector and Oswin, which is fine, but Matthew can't reasonably contribute, and you're just gonna end up burning through either uses of your Wolf Bale or your Hand Axe. Give the Hector an Iron Axe here or something, like kind of a burner weapon, so he's not like forced to burn through his good weapons here. Okay, so blade. What if Eliwood started more towards the bottom middle? I think that would be fine. You could also maybe get rid of some of these peaks. The problem is, like, This village, like, whoever you send to this village just does not participate in the chapter, which is fine, because Marcus is in a position to do it turn 1, and, like, the argument could be made... Oh, Jesus Christ. Oof. Okay, I should have taken out 2 Peg Knights there. Argument could be made that, like, if you're not going to use Marcus, you can just send everyone else down, but this is just kind of a weird... This is not one of FE7's stronger shit. Okay. Naughty Clerics go to the corner. Right. I'm pretty sure you have, what, 15 weapon triangles plus 1. Okay, you know, having 7 defense here isn't bad. Yeah, I think I comfortably live. I am going to trade that and that. I really don't like lockpicks. I don't. I think you could probably... I know it's a technical limitation. I think you would be better off implementing lock touch if it's possible. Or in like... In an ideal world, an FE7 remake would be done in FE8's engine. Because thieves having to carry an item to do their primary job when their secondary job is stealing items and filling their inventory is kind of like... Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. No, Barsha! No sane moments! What's up with a new viewer? What's up, new viewers here? So, this is Project Wildflower. It is a FE7 Redux hack in the same vein as the now pretty popular Project Ember. Right now, it's in very early beta, so with my stupid amount of time spent playing FE7, I'm just gonna manually change. When I see it change to red, like, no, you get the good red that doesn't blind me. I have played FE7 a billion times, so to that end, I'm a decent beta tester, as it were. I can change red to be more palatable, but, like, come on, you gotta, like, work with me here. You paid for red? This is... I didn't change it! Okay, fine, I can... fine, you get red... You keep red until I figure out how to change it. I'm changing blue, too. Blue is way the fuck too strong. Alright, so can I think I should be able to take one of you out. Take you out. Eliwood's an insect glaive main. He's gonna hate Monster Hunter Rise because that weapon got gutted. Absolutely gutted. I think another problem with, like, the starting position for Hector's squad in this is that, realistically, like, you just have to put the Naughty Cleric in the corner, because with all the Pegasus Knights and an inability, you either, like, literally just make a wall to turtle up Matthew and Sarah behind, which isn't engaging, or Sarah just isn't allowed to do anything in the chapter, which, given that she's a healer, and, like, I could use some healing here, that's kind of iffy. It's slightly poo-poo garbage trash, as it were. Anyway, secret book. We're just gonna sell that. Is this a different version of it? Or has it just been so long since I've actually been to a vendor? Secret book. Yeah, also the secret, look, the fact is, the opportunity cost of 2 skill versus 4,000 gold, there's no question what you need to do. You sell the secret book. Yeah, I know Select gives you danger zones. It is just not something I am used to in GBA Fire Emblem, so I'm just like, I'm probably not gonna remember to do it. Yeah, but thus far, enemy quality in the south is really weak for what is Hector hard mode. And enemy quality in the north, it's not even so much that enemy quality in the north is high, it's just that, like, enemy density with your combat units is super high, so you have to make sure that you use every one of your moves effectively, which it's alright, it's not great. Actually, you know what? Iron Blade. Let's do that. I did almost lose Barcher back there. Yes, but I forced Barcher to go in tank too. Realistically, like, you have enough resources over here that where you just place someone like Lowen on here. I just want to use Barcher because I want to use Barcher. I have no 3 houses, babe. You don't need them. Oh. Mecha, that's mean. You can't be mean. Oh, shit. Is Sarah gonna get shit? Okay, case in point here, like, there's just not... There is very little safe area for Sarah to go. 9 speed. Like, I don't get doubled because Sarah has base speed here, but, like... You can't, like, realistically move around of Sarah here. This is a case where I think you need to change up the map more than you need to change up... Unless you are going to, like, large-scale change up what units join when, you're gonna need to go ahead and, like, kind of rehaul this map. This is something where you're... It needs some work. Oh, whatever. Wildflower. I'm gonna use Rebecca. I like archers, and I'm always interested to see how Fire Emblem hacks, like, rehaul archers. And given that this is, like, Project Wildflower, I'm, like, 100% certain. 100% certain that Rebecca's gonna be, like, fucking busted. Wow, Rebecca still sucks. Here's the thing. Rebecca got a huge buff to a point where I think she's fine. She was just barely below the doubling threshold. That blue to purple is such a small change. Okay, so I redid the lights. I didn't take on my Twitch channel points reward, so I'm gonna have to, like, redo them during a break. Did I go over Eliwood's growth changes? Like, I legit don't think I did. Let's see. No, you did not. Yeah, you gotta remind me. Okay, Eliwood's growth changes. HP's the same. The big thing is he's now a 50-50 on strength, but he got a good boost to his bases, and he can use lances now, so that 50-50, like, coin flip's all right. Skill got a 5% boost. Speed got a 20% boost, which I'm kind of iffy on, personally. I think making everyone, like, Yumi-Zumi fast is suspect, unless we're gonna make this a caps-based game. Luck got nerfed. Defense is the same. Res got nerfed. Yeah. Like, I'm okay with this. I might have made Eliwood, like, slow... Because, like, 60% speed with his bases, that's, like, kind of the ideal in my mind. Because he's going to get close to his cap in Tier 1. He's going to cap out at level 20. Like, I don't know. I don't know about that. It feels homogenized, personally. How fast is Lyn? Overkill fast for a Tier 1 class and has a 20 speed cap. Oh, shit. I need to go ahead... Lowen, go retrieve a red gem. I need to buy stuff. Lyn is just Manikati Gilbert. In fairness, that is like vanilla FE7 Lyn. Wherein the Manikati is literally her only, like... I would argue, like, FE7 Lyn is okay-ish for, like, a small portion of time just because the Manikati is good. It having an extra point of might in comparison to the Rapier is, like... It allows her to do something. I'm not sure it makes her good, but... It allows her to do something. Like, the Manikati is a legit good weapon. Let's go ahead... 13, I think that's 5 times 2 for 100%, right? Yeah, we're good. I think 55 would have been better. Because, like, Eliwood had 40 speed. Like, given that Eliwood is definitely going to be more like the soldier to Cav archetype, I don't think it needs to be super speedy, especially given that he has the cons. He's not going to get weighed down by lances. So he already gets, like, an inherent boost to... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and... He already gets an inherent boost to his strength through using lances. So, I'm like... I'm iffy. I'm iffy on making him a jack of all trades. There is a pitfall that a lot of rebalance hacks go into to where, like, they see an absolute, like, garbage, irredeemably bad unit, like, for example here, Project, like, Ember and Roy, they see a really, really bad unit, and they go a little too far in buffing them. Just slightly too far. Great, give me that. Give me that, I guess. I'm not really sure who we'll give the Iron Rune to. Then we'd have, like, irredeemably low luck. 11 luck. Actually, wouldn't be a terrible idea for, like, Hector or Oswin, I guess. Okay, you're hitting for 26. I've got 20 effective, so 26, but you're hitting for 25. I should live this. Oh, actually, wait. Abort mission. Abort mission. 26. Okay, I need this brigand to not kill himself so I can go ahead and... I'm gonna have to buy some stuff real quick. Buy that, buy that. You have 5... I think you don't get slowed down. I'm gonna save because I think the javelin... I want to buy javelins and everything, just for a little bit of extra reliability. Oh, I didn't buy a bow. I need to buy 2 bows. One for Dorcas, one for Rebecca. Why did you never do the Hildebrand class, Ragnamune? Ragnamune used 5 bits. Why did I never do the Hildebrand quests? I haven't either. I've heard they're hilarious. They kept the ambush spawns in Ember garbage hack. Yeah, let me show you boys how it's done. Owie! Alright. Also, thanks all of you for following. I appreciate it. I don't like shilling my stream on Twitter, but hey, I figured this is something I have... This is a game that I have something of value to say about, in all likelihood, so... Can I rescue you, or are you just... Oh, okay, I can't rescue you. So... Rowan's gonna go ahead and... Trade... Right off the bat... Wait, no. I'll take that. I'll take that. Item... Armory... Sell the red gem. Okay, I need a bow for Dorcas, I need a bow for Rebecca, and... I don't need any extra swords. I'm gonna buy a sword for Matt. Just in case. The Iron Rune replaced the stealable vulnerary in Hector's chapter 11. Damn, I wish I could give Dorcas that now. Yeah, see, look at that. Fortress Lance, 8. It'll hit. And 8 plus 14 will be a kill. So, go ahead and do that, I guess. I will... Okay, one thing that, like... I don't like the heavy paladin sprite because it looks way, way too similar to the axe cav sprite. I feel like you need to invert the colors to where the horse is white or something. Make it like the paladin to where the horse is still white. Because it doesn't look like a promoted unit to me. 8, and then that'll be down. 2 and 6. That's an exact kill. What kind of gameplay story integration necessitates ambush? Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay, we're using the helmetless paladins. I like that. I really, really, really hate... Like, I don't like when calves just get a helmet and suddenly become very impersonal in their appearance. Prefer the helmet. I don't think it was a bad sprite, but it is just like a universal strength and speed and luck and defense. That's a really good Eliwood level up, which I'm fine with. Like, keep in mind, you know, strength speed of these bases. I feel like you need to look at your lords like archetypically to see where you want them slotted. Fire's Dagger. Get some Sarah XP. I think we're probably gonna dump Sarah for Priscilla. IMO, unless you're giving clerics an extra, like, +1 staff range, there's no reason to use them in comparison to troubadours. Alright, there we go. So chapter 12. All in all, the map seems to be... I don't see any major changes of enemy quality. Offhand, I think they were scaled far below how you scaled up a lot of the playable units. The map itself has huge problems with like starting locations for Hector and Eliwood's squads, especially given how Hector just gets besieged by high move enemies that can just target Sarah so she can't do anything. This is a chapter that you probably want to take, like much of Lin mode chapters, this is a chapter where you probably want to take a hard look at spawns and enemy placement, really. Spy's Dagger is a 2-range sword personal to Matthew to make him a little more combat viable. Gives him a little boost to his defense too. It's 5 might, gives 2 to defense and res. I'm okay with it. Look, I'm not saying it's not gonna get hard. I'm saying just like at this point in time, it is comparatively undertuned to the units you have. I would say just kind of change it to where like Hector and Oswin don't have to hold the fort all on their own. Maybe allow like, if you're doing a story rewrite, maybe let like Lowen to have like gone ahead or something. I don't know. If a third like bulky combat unit would make that starting location a lot more feasible and take some pressure off of Eliwood's squad, because Eliwood's squad just has a lot of, how do I put this? Oh yeah, right, we join up with Eliwood, that's fine. Eliwood's squad has a lot of units and a bottleneck, such that like, no one unit, well, most units are only going to see like 1 or 2 combat encounters, and a lot of them are going to see 0. Hey Matt, what's up? I like you. I very much like Matt. Okay, so that was chapter 12. I'm going to go ahead and tweak lights and also like jack my fan up to high because it's still really hot in here. I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. Go ahead, get some water, avert your eyes. I'm going to appease my Twitch overlords, doing that thing that you do on Twitch when you go. Anyway, I'm gonna run that, go do some jumping jacks or something. I will be right back. Okay, we're back. I think, hopefully the change has gone through. I redid all of the, like, light commands, so hopefully they'll be using new lighting that isn't, like, garish. Anyway, that complete. Chapter 12, we are going on to chapter 13. There we go. Nice. Okay, it's not, like, blinding. Also, thank you all for following. Like, it means a lot. Nice to see a lot of new faces here. I realize I could probably market myself, thus that you all knew that I existed and do this fairly regularly, but that feels conceited. By which I mean, I'm bad at it. I'm very bad at it. Because, yeah, that's what purple looks like, and I think blue is now a lot more distinct from... blue is still Blue's still fucked. Okay. Yeah, blue should look like that. Actually, yeah, thank you for the hydration check. Oh god, it's still fucked. Why? Whatever, I'll figure this out later. Yeah, okay, the story has not been changed. The narrative is not FE7's strongest suit. It is passable as connective tissue between larger plot points, but on a beat to beat, I'm like, eh. Also, I think Gi has been slightly redone. Okay, you're full of tactician now. Oh god, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I must. This is actually gonna like bother me. I'm disabling red until I can figure out how to change it. You get purple, yellow, and green because they aren't like super over brightened. All right, so I don't have any new units quite yet. Right off the bat, one thing that this chapter has is that Starting positions are really weird for this chapter in vanilla. Like, you have the low move Oswin, who you'd probably like to lead the charge against all of these enemies, way in the back. So maybe then you're supposed to lead Oswin over here, but that seems like a really weird use of his allocation, as it were. Does Eliwood use lances? Yes, he does. He's now a lance lord, as he should be. Good luck, Rebecca can do something. Okay, let's check enemies real quick. So, they don't appear to be going the Lin mode. Okay, never mind. There are silver weapons right off the bat. I appreciate this. Okay. So, 10 weight. I mean, still 5 con. GBA con. Makes no sense. I'm sorry to say. It's not great. And Vanilla Oswin's one of the few units that can break the snag in one hit. Fair enough. Hector and Eliwood having 6 move, like, really recontextualizes how you play the early game. Okay, so right off the bat, you don't double, so I can comfortably put Rebecca there. Comfortably put Rebecca here. Ideally, I would have Eliwood, like, right here with a glaive, but that's just not... Well, actually, no, I can just rescue drop. Good, take, drop, over, back one. I don't, yeah, that's fine. I don't want them going for anyone but Rebecca here, so I'll put it through here. Yeah, Wallace just comes as a pre-promote in Lin mode. If you have any questions as to why, like, things are retroactively changed, just ask them. I, like, burned through all of Lin mode in one stream, so there will be some things that have been changed. Okay. Also, you still have a killing edge, and you have an actual strength stat now. Nice. Yeah, let's just go ahead and put the dork here. Ah, shit. Okay. One thing I would consider doing for this chapter that might actually make it a lot more bearable, especially since you just had 2 armories, allow a preps menu here. Because, like, realistically, narratively, there is no reason for you to not have time to prepare before going forward. Because, like, the last map was a... Yeah, all my shit's on low end. The last map was a route map, so you can't, like... It's not as easy to delay completion of that map as it would in, like, say, a Siege chapter, so you can't always comfortably switch around your items. I also don't think that's, like, a very meaningful metric of difficulty this early in the game. Just adding a preps menu and allowing you to reorganize your units and actually strategize where you want to send units would do a lot for it. Because then I don't have the issue of, like, okay, you put the lowest move unit in the very back. Because now you can figure out, okay, oh, Jesus. Okay, Rebecca dodged. I like the slightly smoother archer animation. Force promotion didn't make sense in FE7. It makes sense in certain games. Like, it makes sense in FE9. It makes... I don't know if it does actually make sense most of the time. Like, I'm thinking about it, and, like, I kind of always hate it. Makes sense in actually, yeah, it does make sense in Thracia. Especially given that Thracia doesn't give Leaf a lot of downtime. Skill and speed. I'm fine with that. Yeah, he gets it once he reconquers his king. So it makes sense for Leaf and Ike, I would argue. Like, FE7 is probably one of the most arbitrary story promos, in my opinion. Eliwood double. No. But, we can tag team. 11 and 16. Goddamn. I guess we'll give you an Iron Axe too. FE8 makes senses, but FE8's like... I feel like FE8 is less of a story promo and more of like a you get the story promo item. And I realize that's the case in FE7, but the story promo item isn't like, just like, whoa, this is like a super Earth Seal. It's dumb. There's no reason it couldn't be something. If it was related to the story itself, that'd be one thing, but it's not, so, FE8 being an event that you can delay is also nice, yeah. I'd argue maybe it could have been bumped up a little bit, but it does mark, like, the end of an arc, as it were. You accomplish your goal and you get a reward for it. And if you want to delay it because you want to grind out, like, Erica or Ephraim, you have that option. The Lord just finds a horse. That is a great promo. Like, let's see. Oh, I'm probably gonna get double. Nope, 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 nope. Pegasus Knights, still Pegasus Knights. You still have 2 breeds. Look, this is just an extension of the Steel Lance Pegasus Knights from vanilla FE7. There are 2 breeds of Pegasus Knights. There are the, I can actually double you, but I hit for nothing Slim Lance Pegasus Knights, who are able to use their visible speed. Because keep in mind, they're capped at 20. So, they are always going to be like, oh, Jesus Christ. Don't don't double Eliwood and prove me wrong here. It seems like this is just like Steel Lance Pegasus Knights Plus, as it were, which I'm iffy on. Very iffy on. You need to rework how con is allocated on units. I don't think weapon, like, and that's something that I don't think you're going to be able to change. I think that's just hard baked into how GBA Fire Emblem works, but con is just, it's not the best metric of determining, like, oh yeah, we get Hana here. Like, encumbrance from weapons. Ignore the con hater. I will not. You will not. No. You get a mine here. That's fine. I don't think it's like the great... It's kind of a funny haha weapon or item more than anything else, but I think it's usable. Mind Glitch probably still works. I feel like you'd have to jump into FE7's like ASM to do that, and that seems hard. Like GBA Con, just it don't work. It's stinky and bad. Oh, the Mind Glitch got patched. Oh, okay, well, good. Good, I guess. The Mind can be useful in choking Fargus's elites. Okay, magic. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, I need to be careful, so, you have a hand axe though, so... Well then, it is very likely that you will go for Marcus, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw Hector down here. And I'll throw Matt down here with the Spy's Dagger. Double checking, we're good. Da, dun, dun. Mines are fine when you know how they're used. It's just, it's a weird thing to get this early because I don't feel like it benefits the player much. Merlinus, I don't like you. You're kind of a... I don't like Merlinus. I think it's more that I dislike FE6 Merlinus being as important as he is, but, like, whatever. That's fine. Ooh, God. Ooh, good. Okay. We're gonna have to... Christ alive. Okay, so... do that. We could do that. We could heal you up. I think Marcus can... Iron Lance, Silver Bow, Steel Bow. 17... 21. Hits for a lot, but... the Fortress Lance allowing him to tank a little better is actually, like, pretty damn nice. How about that, like, 26 attack he has in Fae? Unironically, I think, like, Merlinus is pretty cool in Fae, because he's, like, you know, he's got a use. He's got a niche, as it were. I am just gonna get, like, Hand Axe ran into here, so... Wait, Hector can talk to Guy? No. The exclamation point you see is because if enemies have killing weapons or they have a weapon that's effective against your unit type, you'll see that exclamation point. Because Guy has a killing edge, he's just gonna have that above him. That's what you're seeing. I wanna use Rebecca here. So, green, yellow, purple for it's really just for wasting points. People complain that I didn't have enough uses for them, so there you go. 13. Honestly, I can just heal. Like she lives one. Also, we're probably gonna go ahead and... Oh. Sarah, put you here. How many points to make me save state? I really don't want to run this with save states, but it's just how I play Fire Emblem, Iron Lance. Okay, these guys, a lot of these guys are still jobbers. Like some of them have been buffed to the point of being slightly threatening, but okay, well, we'll just put you here, I guess. I can. What do you have? You have 7 speed? 8 speed? Don't get doubled. Cool. Like using the Saxa points reward. Problem with like playing sax on stream is that the audio balancing for playing music and the audio balancing for talking are so wildly different, and I have not set it. Ouchie, ouch. Bonk. I like this. The Fortress Lance really was a nice change, because you don't have to use it. I could be using the Silver Lance here, but it is a nice change because it allows you to use Marcus like a Jagan while still not, like, stripping his identity as, like, a steamroll unit for the early game away. Because he's still vanilla Marcus. I don't think anything was really changed about him, save for a slight allocation to fit the Great Knight archetype. I threw a Javelin with Marcus and does the heavy spin sound reserved for crits. I hate that. I hate. That is the one thing I hate about Salvage Paladin. And, like, mind you, this is a great animation, but that Javelin spin and make the crit sound, when they aren't critting, is no. That's Not a fan. Not allowed. Go to jail. Like, that's the equivalent of putting a police siren in, like, in an advertisement. Okay, I'm guessing you two have silvers, right? Iron. Okay, no, you two are jobbers, so... Let's see, I have... Gee wouldn't kill me, I don't think. You have 19. Yeah, so you do 3 times 2. Okay, so you have a steel, you have that, you have that. Let's try and go about, like, just go down the list here. So, can't kill. Can't quite kill. Eliwood should be able to kill. Okay, Eliwood and Rebecca would be able to kill here, so. Oh, okay, well, Matthew decided that the kill was his. Level for the thief, hooray. Okay, level gets. Level 6, HP, speed, luck. There's the mat level I know and love. Oh, right. I completely forgot about waifu bias. Waifu bias, good. Yeah, the Wildflower. It's a rapier you can shoot. The only thing they changed about the thief tree is... I don't think they did any changes to the thief tree. There's the Rebecca level ups we know and dislike. Oh, assassin gets bows. Okay. On one hand, I like that on a vacuum. On the other hand, combined with I think I know what you're gonna do with Lynn's promotion, I dislike it greatly. Are you going for all the extra chapters? I have been told that there was no Lynn mode requirement for the true ending here, so I didn't grind Nils up to level 7. I got Ninnis Grace. I was told that you do not need to, like, grind for 20 years. Okay. We'll heal you, then we'll go in with Lowen, and then go out. Cool. So, trade, give the Fortress Lance. Heal. I grinded Dorcas, though. I grinded Dorcas because it was funny, okay? You wouldn't be able to normally get an early promo Dorcas. And I'm not kneecapping the longevity of... Oh, shit. I may have made a boo-boo. I may have made a slight boo-boo. That's fine. Hector is a banky... Wait, do you have a silver? Oh, you do. Oh, that's a problem. Wait, is it a problem now? 14, 7... Shit. I have made an error in judgment. I have made an error in judgment. Oh, shit. 9% crit, let's go. Attack with... Fuck. Oh boy, okay, well. Dodge, I guess. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, such is the curse of playing while speaking. You lose at least 20 IQ points. Honestly, this isn't even out of an ordinary level for Hector. This is why nerfing Avoid is bad. Did we change the Avoid Yeah! Okay, actually, I would have liked that. Could I have taken that 7% crit earlier, please? Hector does not block the archer. The archer attacks from the south. Have a jav? A short spear. That's actually worse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 7. Go here I live. Yeah, I don't know why they would change it to 1 RN. Okay, that's a decent level up. Okay! The one crit I don't want, and I get 2. Okay, that's fine. That's a reset. Also, Rebecca's fucking dead. No guy, no gi for me! Hooray! Okay, well, we're gonna have to run that one back. Why would you reset? I kind of want to show all the changes that they made, given that this is something of a public playtest. I only lost a bad unit and a sword. Here's the thing, though. I'm interested in what they do for bad units. The bad units are the ones I want to see. Also, it doesn't seem like these reinforcements were statistically buffed that much. I wouldn't reset for Ralph and Thracia. I'm not playing any more at Thracia than I've, like, no. Fuck that game. I'm not playing any more of that game than I have to. Also, oh! Okay, I'm like 90% sure you could have killed Rebecca. Oh, you know what? No, because the fortress costs 2 move. You're right. Which means, god damn it, I just got screwed over by a crit. Oh, no, you... Yeah, no, Okay. Designer's note. I don't know if you can make... I know that there's a thing in FE Builder GBA where you can denote a weapon to be incapable of critting. Given that this is meant as a softener, like a reliable softener and a reliable tanking tool, maybe make it like a bronze weapon in that it can't crit, because yeah, I realize I'm basing this off of one like bad incident, but at the same time it does kind of fit the design of a weapon. RNG is part of the game, yeah, but RNG is not part of the weapon design, so I'm gonna go ahead and say none of that. Give Gi +2 luck instead. I mean, I imagine there will be points in the game further on where you just want to use, well, yeah, maybe just give him +2 luck, I don't know. As a softening tool, it makes sense. Also, why am I still playing this? I am actually just going to reset here. No, we are resetting. I just don't. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do off. Great. Alright, weapon design certainly builds of RNG and why, blah, 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 blah. Give Marcus -3 skill. I get it, but it's specifically because of the design of a Fortress Lance in being a softener weapon. Like, let's assume that I wanted to use the Fortress Lance to soften it up for someone else. I would not be able to do that. Move Rebecca here. Take, and then, so rescue, drop here. Cool. Save, take. I'm gonna send Lowen over. I was gonna break this. Long live the Steel Man run. I would, look, if this were something like Project Ember when I played it, where it was more or less in a, like, completed state, like it was public when I played it, I don't think it was in beta in any capacity, I'd have no problem with it, but I at least want to try and show off the changes that they made to units. What's a Steel Man run? Well, a Steel Man run doesn't exist, but a Bronze Man run is an Iron Man run that has become tainted, but I'm still rolling with. Essentially, the Bronze Man was coined when I lost the true ending in Project Ember because Milady got shit canned by a 2-range Monarchy, because I forgot those were a change. What about Steel Ball Run? Haven't read it. Okay, same deal. Well, we got strength this time, hooray. I'm just gonna try and, like, yeehaw back to where I was pretty quick. Right. I cannot. At least not exactly. Fine, we'll just attack the Wolf Bale. Do enemies in Project Wildflower still suck? There's been some boost enemies, but I'm seeing more that it is just kind of a, we want to make this enemy more threatening, so we gave him silvers in an early game, more than like a large-scale reevaluation of their stats, which I feel like there's going to be a little more work needed in terms of enemy tuning. I'm the sort who would prefer enemies to just be statistically stronger than just giving them silvers early game. Also good level. I'm okay with, like, giving, for example, like an elite squadron silver weapons early game to try and show that off. I'd be okay with a Black Fang and Lynn's Gaiden to have silver, like, weapons to show off. Yeah, no. These guys mean business. They are actually kind of threatening. Do I have a... Oh, I do have a rainbow. Good. I feel like inflating offensive stats while, like, deflating defensive stats is a good way to go about it. If you inflate defensive stats too much, you're going to run into, like, the Path of Radiance issue where nothing fucking dies, and it's a slog to play through. Hey, Eliwood. Eliwood. That's the Eliwood level I like to see. Well, not like to see. That's the Eliwood level I expect. Okay, go ahead and go here. I don't have a hand axe for you, which is unfortunate. Really would have liked preps in this. Oh yeah, right. Okay, got mine. Hooray. I could wait. Heal, then I could rescue drop Rebecca. I don't think they're even going to go for her, but... Alright, take, drop. Okay, use Barcher here. HP, strength, speed, defense. That's pretty good. I think having, like, slotting Barcher to be the offensive warrior while keeping Dorcas the defensive one's probably a good rule to keep. Okay, yada yada yada. Bonk, bonk. Dorcas good. Probably she doesn't double these brigands. They're awfully fast. Dorcas is the good fighter or Barch is the bad fighter. I mean, the argument could be made just allowing you to promote Dorcas to warrior in Lin mode is worthwhile. I'm gonna do that and that. So an Iron Lance and a Silver Bow. That's 17 and 20. What am I at? That would be 17 damage straight to the dome. I can do 17 damage straight to the dome. I think I'll go ahead and do that. Into promoting Wrath. In my mind, the problem with promoting Wrath is that you get the benefit of that Earth Seal so late into the game that it's probably, in my mind, it's not super worthwhile. Like, Wrath can already function pretty well in vanilla FE7. Like, I think you get an Orion's Bolt not too long after recruiting Wrath, and in vanilla, like, Will and Rebecca aren't super great candidates for it. Bonk. Wrath would just be a mediocre pre-promote then. Yeah, and honestly, I think in vanilla FE7 you can really, like... Wrath has great utility in that he can carry Hector's fat ass because FE7's sexist, and... women are just... they're not allowed to carry things. It's against the rules. Okay, took a lot of hit. But yeah, because Wrath is light and on a horse, he can rescue, like, titans like Hector. Alright, Shatter Axe. Okay, we can do that. Keep forgetting to use Lowen, like, he's actually good now. The suicide, I'm in Lin mode. Look, as much as I shit on Wrath, and I would argue for decent reason, like, he's an alright character on his own. Shatter Axe is just a personal Sword Reaver. I think they made it personal to Lowen so you didn't immediately slap it on Marcus or the, like... Actually, no, they probably made it personal so you didn't immediately slap it on Hector or, like, any of the Axe Bros. There's a lot of Axe units in Eliwood mode starting out now. Okay, so do... He's gonna need to go here, so we'll attack the silver, and then we'll trade. Probably need to... Without the Glaive and Shatter Axe, the only one with advantage against all the Axe guys would be Oswin. That's a good point. I guess that's the problem with making Lowen the Axe Cav. If Lowen were a Sword Cav here, he'd be okay, but... I think it makes more sense for him to be an Axe Cav. So, you know what? Fair point. Unless you're going to completely change out, like, enemy quality or enemy composition. Can you just do it with an Iron Axe? Yeah, I can just do it with an Iron Axe. I don't know if I agree with giving perfs to so many people. They're fun, but I also kind of agree that a lot of hacks go overboard of giving perfs to, like, fucking everyone. I change enemy composition. That might be a better way to go about it than giving, like, Lowen a perf. Poisonally. Spice Dagger. Right. Gotta build that bow rank on Dorcas. Rebecca's perf is entirely a case of I like the character, let's give her her preferred weapon. And like, part of me is like, okay, Rebecca's a character bad enough to where in like vanilla FE7 to where a preferred weapon could give her an early game niche. That's fine. You're allowed to crit me. I'm not allowed to crit you. That's chill. If anything, if you're gonna give Rebecca a perf, horse effectiveness is probably where you're gonna stop. Like as a hunter's bow or something. Or hell, if you were to make a bow that was just a hunter's bow from Fates, and you were to lock it to archers, then you couldn't give it to like an early promo Dorcas. That would be an option. You'd lock it to the archer line. Because then if you don't want to use Rebecca, like let's say you're using Will or you're using Louise down the line, that weapon doesn't completely go to waste. No, where's my Together We Ride? Yep, your name's Guy. It's Guy, actually. Isn't you, Matt? Blah, 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 blah. That shit's never gonna wear it out until late game. It's a case of wifey bias. Anyway, time to talk about Guy, or Guy, or however you want to pronounce his name. Anyway, Guy. Vanilla FE7, he's useful for a small portion of time because you are so constrained on, like, sword. He can make good use of the killing edge in early game, specifically in the Merlinus chapter. Beyond that, he's, like, pretty bad. I will say he has good support in, like, fire. I don't know if you've tweaked support bonuses. That's something to probably consider. Anyway, I'm going by Hector hard mode basis here. He got 3 extra points to his HP, 2 extra points to his strength, 1 to skill and speed. Luck's the same. Defense is actually his normal mode, and res is his hard mode. So but he got 2 con, which like I'm okay with, but I'm also just gonna say like, hey, because he's not so down by the killing edge, which is great. But also I'm just gonna say, hey, just rework how weapon weight is in relation to units. Because like when you mess with con, you also mess with the rescue formula too. So allowing someone to use heavier weapons also messes with like the paradigm of who can be rescued by whom. Just look at how like encumbrance works. I will probably die on this hill, but I don't like it. Anyway, fail, it's fine. What about his gross? See, you gotta remind me about these things, because I won't remember. Right off the bat, I can see that he still has a low strength growth. They gave him 5 extra, which is nice, because Guy had 30 in base. HP is the same. That they buffed up his base strength is honestly probably enough. Actually, all they did was buff up his strength by 5, buff up his defense by... Actually, yeah, they just moved some of his res into his defense and his strength. His growths are fine. They're pretty accurate to FE7 Geet. You're going to run into the problem of he is level 3 with a 70% speed growth with 14 speed right off the bat. He is going to... That 70% speed growth is just going to go to waste pretty early, which is just the problem you have with impersonal tier 1 caps. That aside, pretty good change. Like, I think just giving Guy extra bases is useful. Also, there are less sword units in Eliwood mode now, so Guy has, like, some utility, I guess. I don't know, like, I'm assuming you give FE6 Swordmaster crit, right? Because you don't hate everyone. Yeah, if he gets FE6 Swordmaster crit, that's probably fine. Because I've seen things like the Flamberge, or Flamberge, or whatever. I've seen 1-2 range swords that aren't just the light brand and the rune sword, so I'm thinking that Guy or Guy or whatever we're going to call him is going to have some options available to him. So all in all, I would say that Guy is probably a decent pivot at a glance. Doesn't seem like an over-tuning, doesn't seem like he's still crazy undertuned. Seems nice. I'm gonna 1, 2... There's a wind sword. There is a wind sword, but you can only get it through the Mario Kart Double Dash bonus disc. Which, like, I had because I'm a real gamer, but you can't expect someone going through FE7 the first time to have, or even any time to have access to that. Kent's going to be needing those 1-2 range swords. Kent is going to promote into a paladin, so he's going to get lances and have jab access. No, go to the armory. Okay, well, let's see if I'm going to be immediately proven wrong. Okay, well, you can buy wind swords. Sure, that's fine. I guess it doesn't make sense to make them knives, given that there's no... You'd have to change animations for things. So yeah, that's fine. Just make the wind sword the javelin in this case. They're more expensive than every other one by quite a bit. I get that they are a rarity, or a novelty rather, but it could probably be... You could probably go ahead and, as far as item prices go, probably bring them more in line. In GBA Fire Emblem, swords cost a shitload, lances cost a medium load, and axes are dirt cheap. And given that axes are also typically like one of the best player phase weapons, I don't really think that tracks out super well. Also, fuck the mini bow. Oh, right, you changed it. Wait, no, it's still 1-2 range. Nope, I don't like it. I do not like the mini bow. The mini bow is bad. Probably one for Lynn when we get to her. An extra hand axe. And... Complains to make archers more viable by nerfing the shit out of 1-2 range. We need sword 1-2 range. Yeah, we do need a 1-2 range sword that's shitty. The problem with swords not having 1-2 range is that it just makes them like an inferior melee weapon. They are far less versatile. Like, don't mischaracterize my arguments here. 1-2 range is shitty, that's the thing. That's fine. Okay, good. We can do that. But I also like keeping archers as the masters of 2 range. Trade a few, give another Iron Lance, I guess. Okay, well, I guess we're giving it to Matt. Have a jab? Ooh, actually, I'm gonna need to pick up another... I need to pick a javelin for Eliwood, actually. Two 3 range is something that you have to be very careful with in GBA Fire Emblem. I think it can work well in something like Path of Radiance, where in indoor maps like calculate where bows can hit a little differently. But in GBA Fire Emblem, where like 2 range is 2 range, no matter what's in your way, 2-3 range can just kind of, if it's really readily available. Like, if all bows are 2-3 range, like an Ember, you're just gonna have a problem on your hands. Right. Actually, Iron Axe is fine. Hey, Shadow King. Glaive is a Reaver, yes. Eliwood and Lynn's personal weapons are now Reavers. I like this. Eliwood being a Lance Lord, there's still, like, plenty... Also, that was a very solid level. There's still plenty of axe units in the early part of Eliwood mode, so making him a Lance Lock would allow him to do some things, but it would also deprive you of, like, another unit to bust the pirates and brigands. So just making the glaive a reaver is okay. Okay. I would consider breaking up cavalry and armor effectiveness to allowing one of them to be effective against cavalry, another to be effective against armors. How long are we going today? We will be going till 8 o'clock Eastern time, 3 hours. Wait, that sounds about right, right? 8 o'clock Eastern, so that's 7 o'clock. So that's 2 hours, 2 more hours. Because I got a hard cutoff today. Having a lot of weapons be much, yeah. Like, the rapier being dual effective is a thing of series tradition more than it is, like, well thought out balance. It was a necessity in early Fire Emblem games, and it was a holdover as tradition, but here I'm like the Wildflower. The Wildflower being effective against cavalry, I would be okay with, I guess, but I don't know. The issue you run into in things that aren't Fates is that, like, effective weapons are just, like, good weapons that are great in certain situations, where in something like Fates, they are niche weapons. Because, like, the glaive is still good when it's not fighting its effective target. Does Eliwood get Malta instead of Durandal? Okay, alright, time to talk about FE7 lore that none of you give a shit about. It would have made so much more, it would have been so much more thematically poignant to have Ninian die by the namesake lance of her birthplace. Not just like, oh, the big flamey buster sword because we're terrified that our audience won't jive with his main character who can't use a big flamey buster sword. Trade. Oh boy, like, I don't like Merlinus, but goddamn do I wish I had him right now. Oof. Okay, we're gonna need to do some inventory management a little bit. Lowen. Yeah, 1% crit, that's fine. Don't know if it's possible. Okay. Another weird, like, nitpicky gripe I have with FE7's OST. I feel like FE7 is at its worst when it's leaning on FE6. Like, FE7 at its best is just being its own thing. So, when it is just like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and yoink Roy's winning row. God damn, Hector. Like, triple effectiveness axes. A little spooky scary. Goodbye. Sarah's theme's great. I mean, I guess, yeah, but I don't like Roy's winning road as the victory theme, personally. Like, if I were to properly do an Echoes of FE7, I would completely rewrite this. Also, Rez, nice. It seems weird. A wind sword. He needs a wind sword. Eliwood needs a javelin. Lowen needs a hand axe. My heals, yeah, no, we're gonna do a bit of shopping and reorganizing. Trade, I'd like an iron bow. Iron rune can go on someone like Oswin or something. Mod is explained in the chat command, but I think someone punched it in. Also, yeah, welcome, by the way. Sorry, not very amicable host, it seems. Dorcas. So this over wind sword, and I'll give that to Guy. One wind sword is just gonna be given to Lynn's squad. I don't know when I'm gonna have a chance to buy another one of these. And Hector needs an iron axe. Dorcas bow rank starts at D now. Hooray. What'd you miss? You missed chapter 11, 12, and 13. There wasn't too many large-scale changes, though we did introduce all the characters. And Oswin's got a javelin, 2 iron lances. Probably didn't need that second iron lance. I'm just so used to having to buy one. Sarah will be able to hold on to it. Torch to Matt for the Merlinus chapter. Good points. Marcus and Lowen's map sprites are incredibly similar. They face a different way, and they have a slightly different horse design. The problem is Marcus's like heavy paladin is like brown instead of white, and I feel like that kind of screws it over a little bit. I don't think I need a heal here personally. I think 20 uses will get me through the next few chapters. Hector and his squad changed. Oswin can use swords now. Matthew has a 1-2 range preferred dagger. Who's got the torch? Archer has the torch. Lowen's an axe cav. Rebecca has waifu bias. And I think that's about it. Oh, Eliwood uses lances now. Good. I have an iron sword? I feel like I picked up an iron sword. Yeah, I'd actually... Piss Hork... No. God, don't do the nomad thing. The Gold Knight map animation. Offhand, I don't remember what it is, but it's probably better than this, I guess. I don't know. I think looking at inventory... I could probably hand over... Dorcas's... You know, that's probably fine. I think we're good to go here. I'm not going to waste too much time prepping. Elman's here. Yeah, you need to... Again, it's serviceable connective tissue between, like, major plot points, I guess, but it is not... Main scenario, it's not its finest... Not FE7's finest aspect. Workable, and it's certainly fixable, but it's fixable by a large-scale rewrite. Okay, that hasn't been changed. Darn knows all. Other heavy paladins use the Gold Knight animation. I feel like Marcus is so much designed around the paladin animation that keeping him as he is fine. Because, like, Marcus isn't... Alright, I'm gonna go vomit real quick. I'm gonna go vomit real quick. I'll be right back. And I'm back, you know, PTSD from Thrakia. Anyway, Okay, so right off the bat, I guess it makes sense that you don't have a preps menu here, but around this point in the game, you are really feeling not having a convoy and having not one, but 2 armories and shops. Like, you had an armory in shop in 12, and you had one in 13. So, all of your units are bursting. Well, okay, not all of them, but like, if you don't stop and take the time to reorganize what weapons your units have, you're kind of in a weird situation. Oh yeah, I also got my dogs. Hello. Say hello to stream, doggo. Thracia is literally the worst FE OST of any FE. Okay, I disagree, actually. I love FE7, but I would argue FE7's OST is pretty weak. It has, like, it has good theming. I will give it that, but... Oh, nice. Silvers. Alright, that's what I like to see. I would say Thracia's is one of the stronger OSTs in the series, TBH. Alright, remember animations, options, Okay, what I'm worried about is that one of you cheeky little dudes went ahead and placed an armor slayer out in the darkness. Alright. Now we're gonna train our bow rank here. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I would have attacked with Matt, but I want to use Matt's first turn to just, like, torch and then trade the torch to Lowen so he can use it up north, because I very much want to know what changes are made to this map. Then again, Matt's probably good enough on his own. Oof. Redux. Okay, at a glance, like, my grievances with the vanilla version of this chapter in FE7 is that the island that Merlinus is on is very small, and Merlinus himself is probably one tile up from what would be ideal. I mean, maybe you could count that as, like, a point of intentional difficulty, I suppose, but I'm not... I wouldn't mind Merlinus being moved down one, but at the same time, it's whatever. Anyway, Myrmidons, go bye-bye. Okay, Marcus. We're probably gonna need your assistance here. I love this new mercenary animation. You can't always rescue him, but it's like, it makes for a weird turn one for placement. But I'm gonna rescue... I guess it actually doesn't... yeah, I'm full of shit. It doesn't make that much of a difference. Can you move one on... Oh, you can. Yeah, okay, I'm okay with, like, the Paladin, the new Paladin's Lance animation spinning on, like, neutral, but it's spitting when, like, doing the javelin and making the noise. That's a war crime. That's an actual war crime. We don't do that here. Bartra, actually, no, I need Bartra to do it. That's true, the Geneva Convention doesn't exist. In fact, whatever Geneva is referencing in the Geneva Convention probably doesn't exist either. I'm assuming it's a country. But I'm going to show my ignorance here and say, I don't know why the Geneva Convention is named as it is. It is a town. Okay, alright, well. I assumed it was a tiny European country that I have not known. Yes, give me that L, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put Sarah here. It's central enough to be able to... Oh yeah, by the way, this chapter has ambush spawns. You don't really notice them because they happen... Oh wow, you gotta... Boy, you gotta run for that, huh? It's going alright, actually. I really enjoy playing GBA Fire Emblem. Okay, we're gonna have to, like, yeehaw the fuck up here, so... Two more turns to destruction, they're in your range now. I didn't remember there being two brigands there, I guess, is my thing. Also... Oh! Okay, oopsie daisy. Me no looky at weapons. Me big stinky. Alright. You know, I'll give that one to... Holy Jesus Christ. Alright, well. I'm gonna give Rebecca an iron bow, because I don't want a nomad coming out of nowhere to, like, sewer slide, as it were. And then another nomad coming out to commit murder. Okay, alright. Speed's always nice, and a little extra HP is very much welcomed. Item... Place a mine. You know what? Fuck it. We are literally never going to... Okay, so... Actually, wait, no, I don't want to do that, because one of them will get through. And then I will have, like, someone here. Which... Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... We'll always prioritize attacking? Oh, alright, well, we'll go with that. Name of the hack is Project Wildflower. If you go ahead and put the chat command in the title, you can get a link to the Discord where the public beta is out. Aha, Bartra the Mage Killer! Bonk! This is the part where I go, ah, god damn it, my hand axe. Ah, 6-move Hector. Okay, well. Go up. Eliwood, move Hector up. Queerty, you screwed me. Poor shame. I'm pretty sure that village only gives you, what, money? I'm very doubtful it was changed, but oopsie daisy. So I think it is a fine enough change to make. Maybe a crit. Nope. Money's important, yeah, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think any of the GBA Fire Emblem games do resource management all that thoughtfully. You know, I'm gonna hang on to this. I'm not gonna overuse it. What would you want it changed to? Aha! My brain! It's large! By which I mean, haha! Chat's brain! It's large! And I picked it for knowledge. Good job, chat. Proud of you. Owie! Okay, that's like a cool-ass crit. But also, maybe don't murder there. You're gonna be facing a lot of dudes, my dude. Actually, never mind. You're fine. That was a very good thing to do. Assassins use bows. Ah, God, like I don't love that. I don't. I do and I don't. But we'll get to that when we get to that. The Galt is a better combat thief. I mean, that's how it is in vanilla. I wouldn't imagine it to be changed. Dorcas is speedy. I mean, he got a promo, and promo bonuses were changed because FE7's promo bonuses are a large part of the reason that pre-promotes in that game are so over-centralizing. Because, like, the promotion part... If promotion gives you, like, nothing, then what's the point of using someone whose only benefit is that they get a few more levels and a, like, flat promo bonus, right? They're Awakening Assassins, which are my favorite versions of Assassins. Like, I think sword and bows on Assassins are great. It's one of those things where I'm just like, oh, wait. I'm pretty sure Hector was considered an infantry unit as a tier 1 lord in FE7 proper, right? Okay, well. Alright. That's a weird change to make while also giving him an extra point of move, personally, but... I'm of the mind that I think making him an armor knight is fine. It's just, it's a weird change in conjunction with the... Do you have a... Okay, you only have an iron sword. It's a weird change to make in conjunction with the, extra point of move you gave him. That's the cost for the extra point of move? I mean, the thing is, it was given to every other lord. I would be fine if, like, Hector not getting shit canned to 5 move when he promotes. That's fine, but... I'm iffy on 6 move as a base 1 class. I think it's probably okay on, like... I think it's okay on, like, a lord stinted to be, like, super fast or agile. Like, in the case of FE7, if giving Lyn the extra point of move at base at tier 1, like, that's fine. If you made Lyn, like, a footlock of an extra point of move, I wouldn't bat an eye. I think that would be pretty sensible. Osmond not a general? No, Osmond's still an armor knight. Aha! Bows! This is why you need skill minus 10 patch? The model for the knight has changed, yeah. I believe it's the salvage knight. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that's the salvaged one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna keep you there. I'm gonna double check that no one comes here, but I think we're fine. In fact, Shatteraxe would honestly be pretty based here. Yeah, it's pretty Gucci. I'm so used to not using Lowen because he's pretty underwhelming as a combat unit, especially for a Cav, and like, I probably shouldn't have evolved there, but whatever. Also, Voln's Hill 15 in this. Good boy, here come the fun. Fuck. Probably better in vanilla than this. I mean, okay, he doesn't have weapon triangle control, which is a nerf. But I also think, especially if you take into account his personal Reaver axe, I think he's in a way better position. Also, he's just way offensively better, so I'm gonna say no on that one. How fair would it be for enemies to be in a, if enemies had to, like, abide by the same rule as the player, you would have to completely, like, revamp how you design Fog of War maps. Thank you. Cavs needed the nerf, though. Like, almost every other tier 1 class. I think the only tier 1 class that it makes sense to have, like, 2 weapons is the Knight, because it is, like, combat is literally all it has going for it. Dorcas is a warrior because in Lyn mode, Wallace, he normally joins with a Knight's Crest that is meant to be used on himself. However, in this version in Wildflower, he joins as a general with an Earth Seal, so you can early promote 1 unit from Lyn mode. I chose Dorcas because it would give me a little bit of a helping hand, as it were, in the start of Hector mode. HP, magic, speed, luck, defense. Good level. Probably still gonna bench you. IMO, Fog of War is just something that doesn't work super great in Fire Emblem. Yep, this is a very early version of Rebalance Hack. We will see how it goes. I'm sure you're among decent company, Emerald, but like, I do think, nowadays, like, in my slightly old and crusty, like, point in my life that I'm at, I kind of like viewing Fire Emblem from the standpoint of, hey, like, how does this work from a balance perspective? Is this, like, reasonably okay balance? I'm gonna stick here for Glaive. I'm probably gonna eat shit for it. I am not. No, cool. I think, like, there's a difference between challenging and, like, shit-canningly punishing, right? I'm gonna have to bank on the 74. Not a fan! Thank you. Damn, he's gotten 2 points of res. Pretty sure his res gross was, like, nerfed. Yeah, but just to point out, vulneraries, I'm going from 18 all the way up to 30. So it's 15 points. Which I guess kind of jives with how this hack is inflating HP values across the board. But yeah, right now, I'm not the dev of this hack. I would say this hack still has like a pretty long ways to go, but changes I've seen thus far seem promising and not like... Oh, right! Ambush spawns! Oh, shit. Oh, shit, Reaver weapons. Ambush spawns are never good. I mean, Matt's gonna live here, but, you know. Oh, wow. I actually think that mage could have just killed me if he wanted to. I knew they were there. However, I just don't like them from a design perspective. I think they are mondo stinky, as it were. Ooh, shit. Alright, this is a slight change. Okay, cool. I didn't notice the thief change. Anyway, mat level. Strength, skill, and speed. Honestly, like, pretty solid. This is a really good map. And growth-wise, he wasn't buffed to high hell anyway. So, rip, rescue, mats. Okay, you wouldn't have been able to kill me, but it would have been close. So you are... I think you're going to Vuln this turn, actually. I'm pretty sure you're just going to back off and Vuln, but in case you're not... right here. See, the problem with, like, premonition ambush spawns is that you still don't know what you're preparing for. Like, you're like, okay, ambush spawns. I'll send my tanky armor knight. Surprise! Oops! All hammers. Like, I don't think it's something that works super well with Fire Emblem specifically. Marcus down to help out a little bit. Okay, yeah, so he backed off a little bit. Like, I get it. You can be like, well, ambush spawns, you'll know the second time, but if a defense to ambush spawns is just like, you just need to know it's coming, I'm not much a fan. Like, it just doesn't work for gameplay paradigm of Fire Emblem. I think there are, like... there's an argument to be made that, like, okay, you can have ambush spawns at a location to where they could not reasonably attack your units yet. But that's just the equivalent of, like, spawning units at their final location. Like, where they would move to after they ambush spawn in, as it were. You were right here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So you moved your max distance. Okay. I'm gonna need you to do the Gi thing, please. Oh, that wasn't the Gi thing. Okay, that's the Gi thing. Can I get in Shatter Axe range? I can. I think I'll do that. I think I will heal up low end, Shatter Axe, and move forward. Reinforcements aren't very threatening if they aren't ambushes. I feel like you can have threatening non-ambush reinforcements. I think Ember does this pretty well by just having the, hey, you're taking too long, asshole. Like, hurry it up. Like, if reinforcements come from a location that you thought was defensible, or, like, reinforcements change the paradigm of a map such that you have to, like, reconsider your strategy. For example, Conquest 10, good example of, like, map design pretty much across the board, but that's a case where, yeah, no, the reinforcements aren't ambush spawns, but they are meaningful and threatening. I guess the problem is, like, yeah, reinforcements aren't super threatening if they aren't ambush spawns inherently. But at the same time, like, Fire Emblem is the sort of game where getting punished, like, it's like a binary system of punished. Either the unit that you invested a shitload of time and effort into is just fucking dead, or they're not. Aw, man. Okay, we're just gonna say, dude, I'd like you dead. See, back attack reinforcements are pretty scary. The problem is justifying them a lot of the time. In games with, like, wonky whatever bullshit warp magic, then yeah, sure, do whatever. But in games without that, you're kind of at the point where you're like, okay, I kind of just have to figure out a way to, like, explain that we, I don't know, wyverns attacked or, like, cavalry looped around or something. Like, back attack reinforcements, unless you are literally, like, pincered in the case of the old Murdoch chapter before it got, like, rebalanced in Project Ember that I spent 5 hours on. And unless you're, like, actually pincered in, I feel like back attack reinforcements are reasonable enough design. Okay, alright, Poozin. Am I going for Geese or Wallace? So I'm going to use my Lords, and they've changed who you get when, so Wallace is the reward for training your Lords, and Geese is, like, the punishment for not. I'm going to be honest, that was never a Samson Aaron thing that I liked. Actually, I don't like any of the Samson Aaron situations in FE7. Like, both Corel and Harkin have reason to join your army and are significant in that Corel relates to Carla and relates to Bartra by virtue of relating to Fear. And Harkin relates to Isadora in the main plot of trying to save Elbert. So, like, thinking emoji. Thought it was based on going to Genesis or not now? Was it? I mean, if so, then I'm getting whoever allows me to, like, play the most chapters, because I'm going to Genesis. I mean, I guess you could argue that these reinforcements are meant to threaten Merlinus, but it would be more threatening if reinforcements came from over here. Because, like, you have a singular choke here that the enemies would have to bust down and don't really seem want to do. Ah, shit. Ah, whatever. I think we have a range of 3. Yeah, so Gi here. Pew pew on you. Yours should not have been. You should be able to get Harkin and Corel. There's no reason not to. Farna shouldn't be a Hector mode exclusive, given that she's, like, pretty important to. I mean, she's the sister of Florian and Farina. Like, or Fiora. It's weird. It is a design decision I heavily disagree with. Choices can be cool, but, like, you have choices in, like, who you field, who you train. Having choices necessarily in, like, characters is a little weird. Especially when those characters, all said characters have, like, relationships to other characters in this game and the previous one. Blast! I won't forget this, blah, blah, blah. Merlinus. Okay, great. Alright, there's chapter 13. We're going to take a quick break. I need to go grab some water. And we will be right back for chapter 14 in but a moment. So, 1, 2, and let's go ahead and change over the chapter. We'll be right back. Go ahead and, like, pet your dog, do some stretches. I'll be right back. So... Okay, we're back. And 14 false friends. So this is the Urk chapter, the one from FE6. Like, hey, I remember this. Or like, ah, sashiburi. As a Japanese 8-year-old might say. Anyway, none of this has changed. Leela cool, Albert weird. This is not a plot point that is properly expanded upon. That's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna roll if it hasn't been changed yet. See, that's another reason why you need to give me the preps menu sooner. I like this. Okay, trade. Thank God, okay. I just hate having so much in my inventory. Transfer. We're gonna give him a wind sword and the lockpick until we need him. He's fine. I wish I'd moved iron. When do you get the Iron Rune? The Iron Rune is the replacement for the Vulnerary you get in Hector Chapter 11. It's stealable from the archer in the top left corner. I think it's a honestly, I consider it a band-aid for the skill system at the moment, for like the crit formula at the moment. Oh. Huh, okay. You know, this is a cool item to give to a boss, because given that Eric is going to charge you, it means that you cannot enemy phase him. You have to eat this. 2-3. I'm okay with this on a boss on this chapter because he will charge you. And instead of like placing someone of 1-2 range, which would still be bad, or like shit canning him with Rebecca, you have to eat it, essentially. Huh, but why might it be a perf? Yeah, look, we'll get there. That's Lowen. Yeah, Lowen is an Axe Knight now. Also, I appreciate that you can move the lords now. That's a small change, but it goes a long way. I think that should be good. Yep. Can't move about. Yep, it's fine. So the convoy, Merlinus, it's an integral to FE7. In a larger sense, I'm not a huge fan of it. I really do like what Path of Radiance did in expanding unit inventories, but not allowing you to access the convoy mid-map. At the very least, Merlinus is mechanically something that is I like far more than the Lord is a convoy thing that like a lot of future games seem to go through. Convoy Lord is stupid. It is bad and stupid and dumb. Hey, item, Shadow Axe. Where can you go? I could go here. Yeah, I'll go there and I'll send Sarah one further. Man, I don't really jive for Lords having 6 move. At least not all of them. Just do that. Every game after this one, the Lord is a convoy. Besides Tellius, because Tellius is based, is great. It's fantastic. I don't like convoy lords. It's stupid. It's very dumb. I don't think you need to access your convoy mid-map, personally. Also, who am I gonna support Eliwood win? Okay, I'm gonna get the Eliwood Ninian support, not because I think it's good, I think it's garbage, but I'm gonna get the Eliwood Ninian support because I want the sad scene, and I want to be sad. Like, I would like Fire Emblem to hurt me, please. Thank you. Sierva Sodo. I like FE7's convoy in theory, yes. I just don't like Merlinus. And you know what? That's not an FE7 problem. That's an FE6 problem. The real sad part is that Eliwood can't be a Fiora, which is a shame, because, like, from a purely writing perspective, that is his best romantic support. Okay, weren't there armor knights here in Hector hard mode before, or am I like tripping? I'm gonna keep Matt here. Fiora is the sister of Florina and Farina. You might know Florina if you've played Heroes. Duo of Lyn, really shitty Lance Flyer in Heroes, rather. Any steals on this map? I'm not sure. Ow, I get doubled, damn. Alright, I'm glad I took the damage up there where Sarah's at. No, Florina's the one who knows Lyn. Fiora is her sister. Yo, alright, Urk, stealing my XP, but, you know, honestly making it himself easy to recruit, so I appreciate it. Fiora's the oldest. I think it's implied that Farina has just been, like, power leveling in Mercenary Land. Aha! Goodbye! Wasting Graph Caliber, he truly is Asvel. I do not think that, look, this is a fun reference and it's a good use of a wind tome, but like I don't think wind magic fits Urk. I think wind magic fits Nino. I think fire or thunder would fit Urk personally. Bard is the only good Peg Knight in the GBA Fire Emblem games. Fiora is actually really good in this game, in like vanilla FE7. Okay, hang on, we're gonna read this. I'm gonna skip most of it, but this is actually very funny. Oh, Sarah, you're the last person I wanted to see. Oh, that's so sweet! You wanted to see me again! That's great. I mean, I guess Farina... I guess, but like, Farina has availability issues. She's usable right off the bat, but at the same time, like... I don't know, Fiora is just like... Fiora is just really solid for very little required investment. Am I gonna get nailed by that? I'm gonna get nailed by a silver lance and a silver bow. 3, 4. Still believe Eric should turn into a red unit if Sarah talks to him. A reasonable stance to have. 20k is nothing in FE7, but to be fair, none of the GBA games none of them have like good resource management. I don't think money is important in any of these games. What's your AS? Con 7, 6, 21, 7, 9. Yup, we're good. think who I'll support. Are there any supports you want to show off, Rikaka? Or Rikeka? God damn it, not Rikaka. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for getting your name wrong. Rikeka. Are there any supports you want to show off before I, like... Rebecca, Priscilla? I can do that. If that's the only one, I'm probably just going to support... I'll support Hector and Eliwood. They both have extended movement, so why not? It's Rikeka. Rikeka. Or I think not. Also, okay, another thing I like about making Eliwood a Lance unit. It makes Eliwood, like... Eliwood is martially far, like... Hector's claim to fame is that he's, like, built like a brick shithouse and he's very strong. The fact that Eliwood is able to keep a pretty even, like, sparring record with a guy is impressive. When he's at weapon triangle disadvantage, but you gave him the glaive. Okay, well, discounting the glaive, Eliwood being a Lance Lord makes the support, like... It makes Eliwood seem cooler in the context of his support. They're gonna put Marcus here. You need to be careful, yeah. Okay, go ahead and attack them here then. Also, I'm just running under the assumption that all rain and snow is removed, which I'm okay with. It does make me sad that no one's tried to do anything interesting with weather post FE7, because like FE7 just shat the bed really hard in that regard. Okay, I'm not a fan that he can do that. Have to go here. It's not... See, I don't feel like it makes Hector look weaker. It makes Eliwood look stronger. Because, like, the entire game is showing you that, yeah, no, Hector's strong as fuck. Okay. Actually, wait. Global ranges. Right, I can use that. What can weather really do to not be shit? It can affect combat rather than movement. Weather could affect combat. Weather could be used a la Dragon Veins and Fates to change terrain a little bit, but just making everything slower is dumb. Because, like, weather is a mainstay in strategy RPGs. Having weather effects and all that jazz, it's just... It is to be... Holy sweet mother of God! The legendary Silver Blade. You're battling Eric and his men. Okay, do you still give a... Oh. I don't remember that being an energy... You know, I like that. If you're just going to go off Hector mode as the default for now, giving me the energy ring is a nice compromise, because you lose out on it. No, it's the Draco shield that you lose out on. Could have sworn that that was like a Horse Slayer before. Am I dumb? Am I misremembering? No, that was a Steel Blade, right? That was a blade, but blades are kind of dumb, TBH. Iron Blade. Okay, well, it's a bold. That was an Iron Blade, which Osmond has now. I'm cool with that. I like blades as, like, essentially the armor weapon. Like, that's cool. I like it. Give Armor Knight skill, strength, no speed, no res. Goody good. I think we can probably... Yeah, we can... God, giving them 6 move. I would really reconsider that. Like, it's very nice, but it's a little much. Okay. We can attack 1 up, 1 right from Hector, so... I think, yeah, you could make it affect, like, magic damage. You could make it affect things like bows or something. You can have it be, like, a global stats change. Like, maybe you're making it so that... I don't know, like, it reduces your defense or something, or reduces your attack or something. Just, like, reducing movement, all that does is make the game less fun to play. Also, I feel like this chapter could probably do with something to do over on the right side, because as it stands, there is not enough to do on this map for the amount of units you have fielded. Now, granted, I think the Armor Knight line here was kind of dumb, but were this map kind of like cut in the middle here and then expanded a little out here to where, like, you start sort of like, in the context of this map, in like kind of the middle upper, and you'll have people rushing you from the right and you need to go left and down, I think that would be a little better. I don't think you expand it out any to the left, because this is, or to the right, because this is already a really big map, but as it stands, like, we're just vibing over here. If Pegasus Knights spawn, great, but yeah, that's something to consider changing. And DN the VA, welcome. I think we're good. Can you show me a pic? Sure, post it in chat. I will say that this is one of the few chapters where I think rain was used effectively, because around the time that the Cavaliers spawn is usually when I play, when you have Marcus in the bottom left, trying to recruit Priscilla, and the rain slows them down just enough to where they can't, like, immediately get to you. I would consider adding a forest here, 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 and maybe, like, just add 3 forests to kind of emulate that, to where they can't, like, start charging you down here. This is still a route map, yes. Overaxe. I really gotta make sure not to overuse this. It's really good, but... well, it's really good, so I'm gonna go ahead and bait you at max range. Because I kept some units over by Merlinus to defend him, because 1, that's what the text box still says, and 2, it's sensible. Yeah, we're good. Do you need Urk to visit the village in the stack? I don't think you need him to visit. I think you just need him to talk to Priscilla, right? How'd you do? Okay, owie. Ouchie, ouch. You know what? No, I'm sorry. I'm misremembering. I'm remembering the Raven recruitment that always, like, fucking stumped me as a kid. Iron's here. There are a bunch of vendors. I mean, fire is nice, I guess. FE7 early game having, like, a vendor in 12, 13, and 14 is a little much, honestly. Given that they don't seem to sell much distinct. Not pristine, it's not like pristine design IMO, but whatever. Go ahead and throw you down here because Priscilla's gonna have something to heal. Yeah, so see, they start, this happens most of the time where, like, they're gonna start charging after the reinforcements don't come. And in FE7 proper, this is when rain comes down to slow their advance. So that kind of, like, softens the blow of a bunch of high move, powerful enemies rushing you down. I would consider adding a few, like, just Just a couple of forests to maybe break up the cav movement to emulate that without actually having rain in. Oh, she can recruit Urk if... Okay, that's what I was remembering about Priscilla and Urk. Yeah, actually, was this the original soundtrack here? I don't like any of the maps until after the Dread Isle. Honestly, yeah, they are pretty weak up until then. Doesn't really fit Laos, I would agree. Owie! Now you see, like, they would have been slowed down by the rain, so this guy can't immediately go like, hey, Priscilla, eat shit and die, as it were. Can I... Oh. Okay, so you are effective against flyers. That's something. Oh, thank you. I also love my hair. Didn't for a while, but then I learned I had to live with it. Okay, so you are just, like, not going to move to make sure I'm not in range. I'm actually going to use Bartra and Matthew here, because I want to save Rebecca to start chipping away at some of the mildly scary calves. So that's 12. Can you... And 2. Yeah, you know what? I'll just use Rebecca, that's fine. Is Dorcas just busted right now? So the Warrior Pro Mill gave him 8 HP and a pretty decent boost to, like, his skill and strength. So, like, yeah, kind of. Obviously, I early promoted him, so if what I suspect about this hack, like, proves true... Also, we're using the good pirates. Hooray. If what I suspect about this hack proves true, he's not going to have the longevity as others do, because I feel like this is going to devolve into needing to hit caps. That's unfortunate. That's a very unfortunate level. But honestly, Dorcas would have been pretty good even without the promo. Like, the changes to Dorcas make him pretty worthwhile. I'm gonna double check here that you're not gonna force me. Okay, again, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You can sound on the village visitor. I don't like that one. Go ahead and mend up Eliwood. I am going to get a heal for Priscilla. We're going to be using her. Also, I should probably go over Priscilla. This is going to be another case where I'm like, Priscilla was fine in FE7. Priscilla was, like, perfectly serviceable. It was that Sarah was really bad because of her class, and Priscilla had a horse. And because FE7 is not Conquest or Thracia, where stabs are primarily utility, or... Yeah, I think it's fair to say that staves are primarily utility in those games. When stabs are just healing, all that matters is your ability to go and get to the point that needs to be healed, and heal well. Priscilla had better magic, Priscilla had better move. Wasn't really a contest. I do really like the idea of giving clerics just a +1 staff range across the board, because that makes them more flexible in tight spaces. Anyway, let's stop gabbering on, and 16, 6, 6, 8, 7, 3, 6, 4, unchanged bases. Good. They did not need to be changed at all. For Gross, however, I don't think her Gross really need to be changed at all either, and... she got a 5-point boost to her speed, which is fine, I think. Yeah, all that is a +5% boost to her speed, which, given how changes are being made across the board, I'd imagine enemies are going to be faster, so sure, whatever. This is fine. Priscilla did not need any upwards adjustment, so where she's at is cool. Let's see. You have a silver bow. 21. I fucking die. Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, I can just put Mount Iron Sword here. Yeah, you better give Urk a horse, by the way. Like, man needs a horse. You gotta give him something over Pent, and that something should be a horse. Also, it makes sense of him trying to keep up with Priscilla and outrun Sarah. I'm not in a good position to take on Eric right now. I think it actually would have been better to bait him from the south. Every ROM hack gives Urk a horse. Good. He needs it. How do you go about balancing mounts? So, it's kind of rough. Right off the bat, you need to make sure that mounted units just are statistically worse. Like, they are just worse at combat. Making tier 1 calves, like, mono weapon specialists is a good way to go about it, and that it is a change that this hack makes. Like, honestly, just make them worse at combat. Give enemies effective weapons more than, like, twice in an entire campaign. And I guess make stats matter. Like, if you can get through the game without needing to have decent combat, then, like, any little downside that being on a horse provides is negligible, especially since you're going to get ahead of the curve because you can actually reach the fight. Because, like, it doesn't matter how good of an armor knight you are, if you can't reach the front lines to fight, you're going to fall behind. So, having an experience curve, it's more in line of something like Fates goes a decent ways. Because then you can't, like, kind of juggernaut your way to Ah! Bring back the racy dismounting? I don't like dismounting, personally. Luckily, Eric's in the back. I can bait Eric by placing someone on the vendor, which I think I'm gonna do. Sunon's on, let's see, Sunon, 0 crit. No crit, 7, it's like, you're not gonna do shit to me, so that's fine. Also, I'm gonna buy a heal staff. Let me get one of them. I need to get out of your range, so I have to go there. 1, 2, 3. Con 14. Fate is still 15. Okay, and I can still pop you. So yeah, this is kind of the reason that they added rain in this chapter, so like, the absolute, like, bum rush charge is delayed a little bit, or staggered out such. Because they can traverse like a third of the map in a single bound. Actually, where Matt's at is pretty safe. I can kill one of them. Okay, what's your attack? Your attack is 22 with the silver axe. 24 with a silver axe. 24. Ah! I see. I'm not much a fan of that, actually. Arguably not a huge fan of that. Well, here's the thing. The rain comes around the time that if you are, like, playing your multiple objectives, that you're getting mounted units down to Priscilla. So it allows you to, like, reposition and bait some of them over here instead of having them all rush to the right. Well, I mean, if you were just gonna do that, I would have... Okay. Actually, Sarah's got like 27 effective bulk, and I don't get shit canned immediately, so... Oh, cool. Don't even need to do that. Okay, I can just mount you. Heal up. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but Fire Emblem? I mean, to be fair, I think Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is just like a Pokemon reskin of an already existing game type. Oh shit. I might have slightly goofed here. Pegasus Knight and no, stop fighting, you two. Okay, good. We should be okay. I think Rebecca has the... I hope she doesn't get one shot with these guys. She does! Okay, ambush spawns are never good. Case in point. Yeah, I knew ambush spawns were coming, but... that they had 7 movement and silver weapons. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Something of a case study as to why, like, surprising the player with reinforcements that they aren't 100% sure on... doesn't super work. You okay down there? Okay, I'm just gonna leave you two okay down there. Leave Rebecca dead as punishment for the hack creator for the... I will replay this off stream. I will replay this chapter off stream to go ahead and, like, revive Rebecca, because I want to kind of just I want to make a little bit of progress, because this is primarily I'm doing this primarily to showcase the hack. Yeah, so much for the defense level up, alas. Proceeds to overwrite the current file. Watch streamer get that character killed. That's why you gotta be careful with, like... ambush spawns. They don't super duper work. Like, I am sorry if they just do, yeah, I sort of mean blah, 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 blah. Let's just make this an iron. Javelins have 3 might, mind you. Bonk. Nice. So this is a case where 3 houses and multiple health bars mechanics would come in super clutch. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So exact range, can hit you in the shore and can one-shot. Eric doesn't die here, so you can recruit him and you will recruit him. See, the ambush spawns here in vanilla aren't that bad because the Pegasus Knights are... The ambush might... Okay, so the purpose of the ambush spawn Pegasus Knights were to immediately, like, have them go north and threaten Merlinus, to where if you did not leave... By default, they will go north. So if you didn't leave someone to defend Merlinus, they will go north, kill Merlinus, and then you won't be able to do your shopping. That is their purpose in vanilla. Making the Pegasus Knights, like... actual ambush spawn threats of that range that you cannot reasonably block doesn't really jive. Okay, can you just stop fighting? Thank you. I have no idea if you could hear that, but I could. Dogs are play fighting. Like, it's fine, but... It's kind of an unfair fight. Holy shit, Urk has nothing in terms of... You know, it's funny. You gave a bunch of units, like, plus 4 HP, but Urk is still made of paper. Which... Like, I'm fine with Priscilla having 16 HP, but... It is weird that Urk is left unchanged. It unfortunately lines up so that being out of Eric's range puts you in range of the ambush spawns. A little bit. A part of that was my own method of going about it. If we go ahead and go here, right? I think you'll have to be able to do that, so... Is this Maniac mode? Maniac mode does not exist in this hack. At least not yet. The mages just explode on contact if anything physical. Which is like... One thing I like about... one of many like mechanical things I like about Fates is that since mages have like lay claim to... We're going to exclude ninjas from this conversation because they are super overtuned. Because mages hold the claim to the title of, like, being the 1-2 range specialists. Jesus Christ, can Marcus tackle this? Like, dark mages are given physical bulk to where they don't, like, explode immediately. Especially in a hack that, like, tries to rebalance 1-2 range melee weapons more in line of how, like, modern Fire Emblem does it, and that it's shit, and it should be shit, and good job for making it shit. I'm proud of you. Dark Mages, aka just Odin. Yeah, but Odin good, though. Like, I guess Nyx is kind of your own Yoji. But I'm talking more enemy Dark Mages. Less than player phase ones, but a lot of enemy Dark Mages seem to be slotted around like, yeah, no, you can't just, like, breathe on them and have them die. They actually take a bit of a beating. So does Leo. Leo has good physical bulk, because, like, they slot into... I think Sorcerers don't, like, I think they get some defensive promo. Like FE4 Dark Mages, sort of, kinda. Orochi and Hayato aren't Dark Mages, though. They are, like, the more traditional Fire Emblem... like, paper mages, as it were. Okay, I'm going for 3.5 hours. I think we'll have enough time for another chapter, right? What's after this one? This is the Raven chapter. Yeah, I can do that in 30 minutes. Wait, no. No. The Raven's after Noble Lady of Kalen, so... I think, is next chapter Noble Lady of Kalen? We're not keeping Rebecca dead, but I am gonna... I don't want to replay this on stream. I'll go ahead and replay it off stream. This is more meant as a showcase for your hack and, like, a means to provide meaningful feedback, and I don't want to, like, super redo this. Take your waifu dying as kind of, like, cause to reconsider ambush spawns as a omnipresent mechanic with outside... If you're gonna do ambush spawns, you need to kind of think about how they are going to be used in the map, because as it is, ambush spawns in this map, in the vanilla version... Oh, shit. I think I'll be okay. In the vanilla version, the ambush spawns aren't meant as, like, I'm going to do damage to you. They're meant as a teaching tool to, hey, defend your, like... Send someone to defend your Merlinus, or Merlinus is gonna die. I mean, to be fair, I'm going about this chapter the way I normally do, so... I send Marcus and some crew down south. I send Matthew and Guy to deal with the pirates to get a little bit of XP, and so forth and so on. Okay, you know what? Nope. Nope. No fighting. No fighting. No fighting. But also no eating my food. There we go. Rebecca's dead, so we're playing the sad music. I'm gonna read this because I know you're gonna make him... Okay, where's your father? We've searched the entire castle and no one's here. So, I've alluded to this a lot, but it makes sense that Eric would be recruitable because... he and Eliwood are kind of kindred spirits in that both their fathers are suspected of, like, sedition against the Lycian League. And, like, while Eric's kind of a piece of shit, he has kind of been left for dead by his father and probably would be wanting answers, right? So just kind of leaving it to, like, okay, fine, you guys are gonna go. The problem is, having Eric heel turn to be, like, a pseudo-good guy, it's kind of, like, kneecapped by the fact that he's a boss in FE6. So it'd be weird to be like, yeah, I helped your father, but also I'm just gonna betray you, the son, again, and you're gonna fall for it again. Do you need more calves in FE7? That's the thing, you don't. Like, with Eric being recruitable, I would almost prefer Lowen to be a soldier. Like, you already have three calves, 2 paladins, and that's already a lot. Yeah, see, like, this hasn't been changed. Like, Eric is pretty sympathetic in this. I mean, he's a dick, but he's a sympathetic dick in this scene. Now, see, I like this. This is something I like that FE7 goes nowhere with. Like, the entire shtick about, like, Marquis Ferre's disappearance, Albert's disappearance, is that, like, he's suspected of, like, colluding with a Black Fang or, like, Marquis Darren. Or Marcus Darren, Marquis, I don't know. Anyway, the point is, like, they don't go anywhere for the notion of, like, hey, did Albert's father actually betray the Lycian League? We'll never know. Because we're not going to, like, touch on that again. Which is a shame, because it's kind of a cool plot concept, because, like, this scene is meant to show that, like, no. Hector has unshakable loyalty to his friend. He's got unshakable faith, And that's like his shtick. Hector's thing is that he is loyal. I mean, so much so that that is literally the name of his theme, loyalty. I like this. It's a shame they don't go anywhere with it. Something you could do. Okay, so... Wait just a moment, huh? Angry Hector. By the way, I don't think you need to, in scripting the conversation here, I don't think you need a fade out, fade in. Also, Hector repeats that line, so, dialogue needs touching up here, that's fine. That's not, like, the purpose of his hack. Can you stop beating each other up? Okay, we're gonna just have to forcefully separate you. Chapter 15, Talons of Light. Okay. Oh, right, this is the Eubens one. Yeah, still a whip. Don't take any of my criticisms of a story seriously, just pointing it out. Coordinated, okay, blah, 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 blah. Heath, okay. I like that they introduce Heath here. This is cool. Even though this chapter doesn't really push the narrative forward in any way, which I don't like. I do think that, like, using this as an excuse to introduce Heath as, like, a mercenary that you could recruit, a sympathetic mercenary you could recruit later, is cool. You weren't meant to be a like, this is good. This is cool. I like it. This would be a good chapter to have Rebecca on, honestly. Anyway, we have Eric. Okay, so the Saunion. 2-3 range. I get it. It's his preferred weapon. I don't like it. From a purely hacking perspective, when you add 2-3 range to maps that were only designed around you, like indoor maps designed around you only having 2 range, it kind of allows for some fucky stuff, like, let's go ahead and, like, put sound on here, like, pew pew, kill the merc, as it were. Bows are not 2-3 range, as they should be. So, I think making Saunon just make Saunon a killer javelin. They got rid of the boss's longbow? Oh, so they did. They gave him a mini bow, which I also think is kind of... Lazy's not the right word, but kind of a weird solution, as it were. Okay, looking at this map, it's very small, which is fine. It's compact, it allows you to see all the enemies at a glance. This has always been weird, like, locking out part of your units in this corner seems weird to me, and it always has, but... Oh, they're infantry archers only, okay. Then that makes sense. Now, I realize that Saunion is a reference to Sov. I played Sov. I know that Graph Caliber is an FE5 rally. I'm just saying, within the context of FE7 and FE7's maps, you're gonna, like... Introducing 2-3 range gets a little fucky. But we are gonna bring him, so much so that I think I'm actually gonna... bench you for Eric. What bows had 2-3 range? I just know. It can work if you design around it, but these maps were not designed around, like, 2-3 range. Ember has this problem too. They tried to amend it a little bit, but it still rears its head. Actually, I think I have... Check Eric Gross. Oh yeah, so Eric. He was not playable in FE6 or FE7 in any capacity as a trial map character or recruitable character, so we have nothing to compare to, but His growth, he's strong and slow. He's kind of adopted a kind of a sane, what I would assume sane to be. Rebecca died to a Silverlance ambush spawn Pegasus Knight. A lesson was learned on the development side. 5 luck, that's an enemy unit, alright. Just an armor knight on a horse. I do think you run into the problem of just like... I get it, Eric's a cav and you can't really change that, but you just... There's so much overlap in... Because he kind of occupies the same niche as Sane, and his growths are slightly slotted to be similar to Sane's. You saved over it. I hope you have a save state. I do not. Guess I'm replaying the whole game. Let's see if a rewind feature works. Sane has 50% speed growth in some reason for some reason. Guess Rebecca's dead. I want to use Rebecca. Seeing how hacks... shit. I can only rewind so many seconds. Control B. Yeah, I don't even have rewind enabled, so... Yeah, but no, I was legitimately going to use Rebecca. No, that's unfortunate. Oh, it's only 5. We live with our mistakes. I'll figure out a way to... I'm gonna figure out a way to show it. Okay, right off the bat, allowing Hector to get off the throne. Very nice. Go back to FE Builder to... I'll just give... I'll just make it. Don't worry. We'll get it fixed by next stream. Okay, Marcus. Okay. I guess we can show off Dorcas's bases without Lin mode. No. I'm not abandoning. Look, if bringing Rebecca back means abandoning the Dork, I'm not so sure about that one. Okay, so silver bow, silver sword. Are the deployment slots and the pillars even there in vanilla? I honestly do not remember. It would be a weird thing to change, so I'm imagining they would. Okay, Shatter Axe. Can I do it with an Iron Axe? Yeah, I can. Lance Eliwood, a very sensible change, yes. Oh, no, that was an armor knight. This is the soldier animation. So what am I gonna get? Ah, I'm gonna get nailed if I do that. Oh, that's okay. These are the soldier animations. It's just a slightly touched up skeleton of like the vanilla soldier. I'm gonna guess you all have steel, and you can't even reach me, so that's fine. Some better cap stats. Well, they haven't adjusted tier 1 caps, so we'll see. Okay, HP, strength, skill, speed, defense. Hot damn. Marcus is the equivalent of a Great Knight, but Great Knights in this game are not Great Knights in the sense of... He's a paladin. Think FE9 paladins where there's specialists in 2 weapon classes. There's axe and lance, and there is sword and lance. They can all use lances, but heavy paladins use axes and lances, while light paladins use swords and lances. Boy. Here comes the pain. Hey, low percent crit. Go. Oh boy, we might be in a heaping helping of slight trouble here. We have wind edges in this game, they're just physical javelins. I think we're just gonna let Merlinus bite it in this one. I forgot that they were so quick. I'm gonna let you... Physical light brand. In a sense, I suppose. Slap Eric on the throne. I'm not worried about the throne being taken. He's not that worried anyway. I'm gonna send people back. Goodbye, Merlinus. No, Merlinus does not got this. Merlinus, I don't think I've actually looked at Merlinus, but at a glance, his stats were not adjusted from vanilla, so he's going to get shit canned even harder, which I think is fine. I think I should be punished for leaving Merlinus out. Like, I just forgot that the door key opens turn 1. I thought it was turn 2. Oh, there he is. Okay, I can do it for you, and do you have a... You don't. 17... You can't hit me. Okay, cool. Back flowing. 6 speed the Chad. But yeah, I should have sent Marcus to the top left to deal with him. I really like this crit. It's still pretty faithful to the Paladin while, you know, cleaning it up a little bit. You know, now that I think about it, the weird thing about FE7 is that there aren't too many more ambush spawns after false friends. Like, it's pretty much just like, there's false friends, and then pretty much nothing else. There are very few instances of ambush spawns in FE7. To such a point that, like, I find it weird that they linger on it so much. Four-fanged, I guess, yeah, but... even that's not particularly impactful as an ambush spawn. That does it! Consound it! Wait, what? I don't know why. Must have been a misclick. Oh, you're going for the throne. I expected you to go for... okay. Interesting. Oof. I mean, it's triple effectiveness in this, so Eliwood doing work against what he's effective against, and it's a Reaver, which I guess doesn't come into play here, but... Spy's Dagger. Only 14... I have 18. Assuming you don't attack. I'm going to assume you don't attack. 18... That 21 is gonna hurt. I'm assuming you do more than 3, yeah. You 4, just barely. Ah, disappointing, really. Actually, wait. No, you do 9, and you do 4, so... Ooh, yeah, but the problem is I can't trade. Oh, yeah, I can. Okay. Let's go ahead and tackle that. Having Dorcas here is very nice. Essentially having a second, like a pseudo-second Marcus. There's not much to really say about this chapter thus far. Like, you're forced to deal with the top right, which I didn't and was punished for it, but It was kind of like a soft punish in that your Merlinus will not promote a chapter later, which I think is perfectly reasonable. Oh. Hammer, Silver Axe, Tomahawk. Oof, okay, I think I'll attack and then I'm gonna rescue out. Okay, we'll just park here for an iron. Actually, you know what? Can I take you both out? If I can, I will. 17, and unless you do 9, nope, that is an exact kill. Do I have a Vuln on me? I don't. Oof. Should have better equipped for this chapter. Meet any challengers here? Yeah, good luck with that. Good, Bartra having skill and a weapon that can hit. It goes a long way. HP, strength, skill, speed. Left side level. We take those. They count. Oh, okay. I do like this. Giving the fighters, like, that kind of actually puts you on the defensive. Because normally in FE7, you just, like, play this like I am, just blitz forward. But I'm being punished for doing so because a lot of the units coming from the side are reasonably threatening. So that much is good. Yeah, they are not pulling punches, huh? Iron Lance, yeah, Iron Sword, Wind Sword. Huh. Guess we'll just do that. So this is the Mercenary's Death Indeed. Well, for Eric. I mean, the Saunion is... It's a nice weapon. In that it's only on one person doesn't make it over-centralizing. I'm really wary of breaking what is considered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 normal range in Fire Emblem hacks. Okay. 1 times 2. Oof. Okay, we are in something of a sticky wicket. I think I can go ahead and Shatter Axe you pretty reliably. That, and then I could go there, but kill 2 of them. Yeah, this is suitably tricky. So you kill you. Problem is I can't kill you. You have to see him drink from my points. I have just like been drinking chocolate milk out of a carton. kill you, and I can kill you, but the problem is, like... I guess I heal Eliwood? Because, like, Eliwood would be able to kill... Let's just try this. Ugh. I do wonder if the avoid formulas were tweaked at all. Lowen might be okay here, but... Can't quite take that through. Okay. So this is certainly a difficulty increase. Less a point of rebalancing through like a Redux lens, and more just like a Hector hard mode plus thus far, which is fine. Oh wait, he... Oh, I actually do need to Fortress Lance or die. Oof. I think Lowen's dead here too. Wow. Okay, yeah, Silver Axe fighters don't mess around, especially if that boost to accuracy. You can't quite... Yep. Am I getting the chests? I'm gonna let the thief open the door, but... Yeah, this was a case of me overextending a bit too far and getting punished for it. Can't approach this like I did in normal FE7. Again, this is one of those cases where I'm gonna have to replay a lot of this. So... Could have killed the boss faster and those guys wouldn't have shown up. Is that so? Oh, nice. Don't get to see that too often. Yeah, playing this like a glorified route map does have its issues. Also, having Hector rescued meant that I was down a man. Eric's a new Tobias, but I would argue that Eric actually kind of makes sense from like a storytelling perspective. Yep. Well, I suppose I can let you all decide. Well, I would like to show, like, as much as I can. Especially given that, like, I'm being threatened at gunpoint to show Rebecca. But I could simply keep going. Okay, you two are gonna need to stop fighting. Okay, fine. Eric is less of a nobody. I mean, he's a fairly important minor villain. He has some plot relevance. Like, Eric being recruitable is less of a funny haha developer joke and more of a, yeah, I guess that makes sense from, like... I will... Give, and then I will heal you up. It makes sense from a story perspective. It's not just like a haha funny goof by the devs. Okay, HP, magic, speed, luck, defense. We take those, I guess. Rebecca has a rapier pair. I believe she also promotes into horseman, which is interesting. I like when classes like archer or mage are given like distinct promotion. I kind of like what Ember did in that they aren't giving branching promotions, but they're giving like differing promotions for the same tier 1 base class, if that makes sense. Will used to be the horseman. Well, props to the Wildflower dev team for actually reading Will and Wrath's supports, where Will mentions that he doesn't like fighting on a horse. Like, that he's actively bad at it. Okay, well, I'm definitely probably gonna have to go about this another way, so that's fine. Okay. I don't think Will says he doesn't like it. Wrath and Will's support is about them trying to, like, rationalize the difference between being a mounted archer and being a stationary footlocked archer. And it ends with, like, each man kind of appreciating their own strengths, so to speak. We're gonna rescue you. Rescue, drop you, so take, drop. Yeah, that's Sue and Wolf's support. Yeah, it's the same one. Which I guess is kind of funny, given that, like, Walt is... I think that was intentional, right? Because Sue is canonically Wrath's child, and Walt is styled to look like Will, so I think it's meant to be Will and Rebecca's kid. So that's probably just a joke more than anything else. Walt can be Will's son. From a design perspective, I think that was intentional. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, all in all, I'm starting to feel the extra boost in weaponry, but this feels less like a Redux hack at the moment, and more of just a... It's kind of like a hard mode hack, if that makes sense. I mean, Eric isn't suddenly not an asshole just because he's on your side. I mean, to be fair, in FE7, we let, like, literal murderers in your army. Promoted Dorcas makes this map so much easier. Yes, we survive. Well, not all of us. Hey, yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, there is Chapter 15, Talons of Light. I will go ahead and review the VOD and just kind of... I'll get to this point, right? F for Rebecca, F for Lowen. We'll... By tomorrow, I'll have it fixed up. That's fine. Anyway, we are, however, going to go ahead and call it a day for now. I have to be somewhere in 20 minutes, and also we've been streaming for 4 hours, which is about my comfortable limit. Anyway, thanks for coming out. This is always fun to do. I like FE7 a lot, and I like trying to rationalize why things were done in a hack to try and make it a little more balanced. like, some things are hits, some things are misses, some things work with the original design intention of FE7, some things don't work with the design intent of, like, an upgraded Redux FE7. Case in point, like, terrifying one-shot Pegasus Night ambush spawns. Anyway, thanks for coming out. It really means a lot. I saw a lot of new faces here, and welcome. Stream schedule is pretty regular. 4 Eastern, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So, if you're free and bored, I will be here. Anyway, I hope you have a groovy rest of your day. Take it easy, and I will see you soon. Hello.